Ken Franchuk here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the Man Van out to your business or event, look today at GameCheck.ca.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better. If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you. Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool. Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Ready to upgrade your ride this spring? Come on down to the Golf Cart People. They're a family-owned and operated business that can serve the community since '97. Whether you're looking for a brand new or quality pre-owned cart, a rental for a special event, they do that too. The Golf Cart People have a huge selection of parts and accessories, and their expert service team is here to keep you rolling. The Golf Cart People, your one-stop shop for everything golf cart. Visit golfcartpeople.com.
We just dropped a massive payload at NISQ 4. It's time to unload some deals at the Truckload of Savings event. If you've been waiting to upgrade, we've backed up the savings with unbeatable offers on our toughest Fords. Right now, haul away exactly what you need and take advantage of massive price drops across our entire lineup, including the legendary Ford F-150 for the job site or the weekend getaway. Shop the Truckload of Savings at nisq4.ca. Nisq Ford, above expectations.
The Jason Gregor Show.
He's bouncing on the circuit, Bruno Fernandez.
On Sports 1440.
But it's Mendes. Portugal score again.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Interchanging of the French players as well.
And Mbappe hits it. The strike. He said yesterday, we're writing the pages of history here. Well, he's blazing a trail of his own.
Well, a tantalizing Tuesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to go say hi to the deck man down at YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Give him a thumbs up. Give him his thoughts on the Heat trade with the Giannis. See what he has to say there, because they'll convince themselves it's an unreal trade. Ooh, it's going to be that'll be fascinating to see how it plays out. That's the NBA for you, man. You get the best player in the deal, but they gave up a fair amount of players. Well, the draft picks, NBA draft picks are very different. When people see first rounders, trust me, it's not. First rounder to me is like top 10 picks. And then after that, it's like second round. You got 60 picks. It's almost each round's 10 picks. It's almost kind of how it goes. But busy day. The Edmonton Oilers with the press conference introducing Mike Babcock as their head coach and DJ Smith as associate coach. Paul McFarland will remain on the bench running the power play. You will also have Pete Aubry is returning as the goalie coach. Paul Coffey will not be returning on the bench. He will remain in the organization in a consultant role, maybe other management role. We'll see where that goes moving forward. But that's how it is. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can always text us. Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And tonight, boys and girls, Lotto Max, $30 million up for grabs alongside 30 prizes of $100,000. So check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. So there was a lot of things that stood out to me. Now, let's just begin. I had said it before. I wasn't expecting an apology from Mike Babcock. I think Mike Babcock said, what was his line? You know what? I said, if you're not 100% in on Mike Babcock, then I'm going to be coming. You don't need me. The third person reference is always something like, I don't know, maybe I should use it more. I don't know why, but it always makes me chuckle when someone speaks in third person. Right? You're going to get the full Mike Babcock. I might have to do that every day in the show now. You know what? Today, you're going to get the full Jason Gregor. But, hey, I think people, if you were waiting for a big apology, it's not him. Now, interesting, in Columbus, it was like, well, my wife told me, you know what, we got to leave. Like, he's not going to. I was comfortable with the questions I asked. You can only ask the questions. You can't get an answer that you want. And I don't ever ask a question hoping for an answer. I'm curious what the response will be. And that's why I made sure to ask DJ Smith, who now, since they coached together the first time in Toronto, DJ Smith was a rookie assistant coach in the NHL back in 2016 when he came in. It's a lot different now. He's been a head coach in Ottawa. He was an interim head coach in LA. He's got more experience now. I think he has a bigger voice. He's also much more relaxed than Mike Babcock. Jim Masson and I, after the press conference, had a fantastic conversation with DJ Smith. Oiler fans, I think you're going to want to hear it when some of the strategic stuff from DJ Smith and what he wants to implement on the team. Obviously, you know, with Mike Babcock, it's not like he's running the team. Let me be abundantly clear there, but he's in charge of the defense. So we asked him a lot of defensive questions. What about the penalty kill? Had some interesting answers about the penalty kill. Working with Evan Bouchard, who obviously he's going to have it. Now, he worked with Bouchard and Nurse, right? And, you know, an update on Darnell Nurse, there's really no update. So how it is with Darnell Nurse, it's a very short list. And obviously the Oilers have had conversations with those teams. Nothing come about it yet. But when it's a limited list, it's probably not going to move maybe as quickly. And if the list doesn't expand, Darnell Nurse might be coming back to Edmonton. That's kind of, you know, if I read the tea leaves on that, because if those other teams are looking to make some other moves and maybe they're looking at free agency and such, and I know for sure two of the teams that's been reported in Philly and Pittsburgh. I have a good sense, and I got to get 100% before I want to say the other team, but pretty sure. But I think it might only be 3 teams, maybe 4. So we know it's all Eastern teams right now. Maybe that changes, but that's the update on Nurse. DJ Smith, who coached Nurse and Bouchard at the World Championships there, and the penalty kill, I know it's a World Championship, it's not all NHL players, but it was very successful. And you know who played the most minutes on the penalty kill? Darnell Nurse. But they played a different penalty kill. And after talking to Dickinson and Murphy yesterday, specifically about the penalty kill, I felt that those two guys have to be a main part of the number one unit. No question. I think we'd all agree that that's kind of Captain Obvious. But it was interesting listening to Dickinson say, I played a lot of systems. You got to find one that works for the players. Well, when you look at the most successful penalty kills the last few years, the Oilers have the best power play. Now, the power play is a little bit different because, you can design lots, but you still need guys who can just make sick plays. And that's why McDavid and Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, and Bouchard are very good. Hyman's good in front of the net, but those guys in their areas are very good, and they're very creative. And the minute a team thinks they've got one alley or avenue closed down, they'll open up another one. Now, the penalty kill is a little bit different because you're at a disadvantage to start. And DJ Smith, his great line was, all skilled players want is time. Give them more time, they'll crush you. How do you take away their time? You pressure, you pressure, you pressure. And if there's one thing I took away from it from a strategic standpoint today was look for the penalty kill to be a lot more aggressive. You're not just going to have guys stand. And he mentioned specifically Darnell Nurse. What's Nurse's best attribute? His speed. He can skate and he's long. Well, if you're out pressuring all the time, you're not just standing at the net, because I think we've all seen at times when he stands in front of the net, it's not necessarily the best positioning, right? So no. Also, McDavid won't be on the penalty kill. I can tell now. He might get the odd last 5-10 seconds of a shift here or there, or if the Oilers, which they don't do very often, they haven't been a team that takes a lot of penalties for the last few years. But if they got into penalty trouble where it was like 3 in a 6-minute span or 7-minute span, yes, he'd probably get a shift. But other than that, no, he's not going to be in the penalty kill. Now, he wasn't really on the penalty kill a ton down the stretch, nor should he be. So, but getting back to the press conference today, I'm curious, what if you could say one takeaway, what is your main takeaway from the press conference today? I'd be curious. And that's kind of where it come out. Like I'm not sure I learned a ton in it other than, and I've made it, I think anybody who listens to the show knows where I stand on bullying. Not a fan of it. Now, if you want to be a hard-ass coach, I have no problem with that. I have zero problem with being demanding and holding people accountable. There's nothing wrong with that. Zilch. But, and that's why I asked Mike Babcock the question, because earlier in the presser, he talked about, respect behind closed doors. I'm like, okay, great. But you can't say that you appreciate it if you're not going to give it both ways. Right? It's just how it is. Now, you know what? He wasn't going to get into specifics, and I honestly didn't expect him to. He might never. Does he have remorse? I have no idea. If he does, he's not saying he does. So if he doesn't say it, I'm not going to try to put words in his mouth. I'm going to guess he doesn't. There's like the old Angela Mayu. When someone shows you who they are, believe him. So this is who Mike Babcock is. The players want him to coach hard. He's going to coach hard. No problem. I don't think anybody's complaining if Mike Babcock coaches hard. It's going to be on the respect factor. And that's where I think DJ Smith comes in. Having been a coach himself, he even talked about it afterwards. Like, hey, you know what? How you talk does matter, right? Now, the one thing Babcock did say was, you know what? His tone at times isn't great. And I can understand that. Tone matters a lot. If you try to deliver something, your tone, especially to your kids or in life or to your spouse or your partner, I think most of us would agree that you're kind of like, well, I don't think I said anything, but the look on your face, how you say it, does change the delivery. However, I don't care what the tone is. I could be smiling. Hey, you're fat. Your teammates don't like you. You should quit. I'm sorry. There's no way that that's coming across like, good one, coach. Sorry, that's what Chris Chelios said, what the coach said about Johan Franzen. Not my words, Chris Chelios' words. I have no reason not to believe him. You think he just make that story up? Seems odd. So anyway, now you got to move forward. And actions will speak louder than words. From the players to the assistant coaches, associate coach, management team, there's going to need to be somebody who's just checking in to make sure that you stay across the line. And here's the thing. We all have addictions on different things in our lives, right? Some of you might have a sugar addiction. Hello. Some of you have a phone addiction. Then there's unfortunate stuff like drug addiction, alcohol addiction, porn addiction, go through lots of things. And for people who try to go down the road to recovery, lots of times you need someone who's in your corner to help you when you veer outside the line. And that's where I think DJ Smith is going to have to come in, because you don't know. Mike Babcock can say, yeah, you know what, I'm better, until you get into the high pressure situation and a player does something that you don't like and you don't like the player. And then what happens? Because I don't know if you can fundamentally change. If you're somebody who likes to have control, I think it's very difficult to suddenly not have control. And the other thing that I'm interested to watch is, does there become friction? Because there's been friction before between the coach and the GM, as far as him wanting to make some personnel decisions. You have to have conversations for sure. Coach player needs to be on the same page for sure. But how's that going to work? So to me, today didn't answer any of the questions. I didn't expect any of my concerns to be like, oh, is Mike Babcock suddenly not going to be a hard ass? And it's not even a hard ass. Let me rephrase that. I'm not. Is he going to treat people with the respect that he said he likes to have? We won't know until the season starts. That's just the truth, right? We won't. And so I'm not going to spend all the time talking about it, but Cons, what was the number one takeaway for you from the press conference?
I feel like Mike Babcock is unapologetically Mike Babcock. Like he is who he is. It didn't seem like there was too much regret there. It was like, these things happen. Did he feel like he did anything that bad? Maybe not. Like, he just kind of like, I did what I did and I'm moving on past it. So that was the takeaway for me. I'm intrigued now. Like, it's been done. It's been hired. We've talked about our opinions on it. Now I'm really intrigued to see how this team looks under him with the X's and O's. But overall, I said it kind of at the end of year pressers as well. I put like 10% stock into that. Say what you want to say. What do you do? Like, how do these things play out with the season? How do they look? How does it get them to buy in defensively? Those sort of things are what I'm really looking forward to. And overall, nothing too surprising, I would say.
Yeah. So we'll see. But DJ Smith, I'm going to play it later on in the show, probably at the top of the 3:00 hour. The conversation Jim Matheson and I had with DJ Smith. And I think Oilers fans, lots of his answers are going to be like, oh, I'm intrigued to see how this works. So, because you know what? I love this honesty too, because Jim asked him about the LA Kings job and he didn't pull any punches on it. So we'll get into that. I asked him as an opponent, because you don't really, a lot of times the opposing coach isn't going to give you an honest answer. But now that he's on their team, he was the perfect guy to ask. As an opposing coach, what do you like? When you see them lined up on the same line, or when they're running their own line? Which one's better? He had a pretty good answer to that. So that's coming up at 3:00 today on the program. Dave A. McCarthy will join us at 3. Gareth Reese from Rugby Canada is going to join us. A big rugby event. A few games coming up here in July in our lovely city. Man, I'll say one thing about Edmonton. There's a reason why soccer and rugby and all these other sports keep coming back here, because it's a great sports town. It's a fantastic sports town. Always has been. Firmly believe always will, but there's lots of people that care about sports, not just hockey. Obviously, you love hockey. I totally get it. But there's a reason why these other sports keep coming back and hosting events here, because they know that Edmonton fans show up, because you're sports fans, not just one team. So it's nice. Yaremchuk will be by. We'll have Spec, DVD. When we come back, we will hear some specific answers from Mike Babcock on the show. We got a lot of text coming in. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. When I look at the other aspects of today, because we got text coming in. Hey, Greg, there wasn't a lot of questions asked about player development. Well, Babcock did, and DJ Smith in our conversation mentioned, hey, they got to get young guys. The biggest takeaway, I guess, maybe for me was, and I said it at the end of last year, like, David's minutes got to go down. Draisaitl's minutes got to go down. They're going down. I think, don't be surprised if those guys are both averaging under 21 minutes for sure. Right? I don't know if I'll go as far as say under 20. That might be a bit much, but under 21. And I know you're like, well, Gregor, it's one next. Trust me, it's a difference. There's going to be games where, sure, you have an overtime game 3-on-3. Obviously, you're playing those guys more. Makes sense. Why wouldn't you? But you're not going to see McDavid on the penalty kill. I don't think you're just not going to see them as much. I'm curious how often, because we will, make no mistake, they're going to play together at some point. Just how often and when. And today wasn't the day to ask Mike Babcock about that. I think that's probably better suited for training camp. Today was, I think, about his past and, philosophy going forward. I think that was the main thing. So I was happy that no one kind of wasted some questions of those things today, because you got all summer. But that's why you talk to the associate coach and about the defense and the penalty kill. Because to me, when I look at areas that need to improve, it's team defense that has to improve, without a doubt. So goaltending, we'll get into that a little bit later on in this hour as well. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. And there's certain answers I want to get into because we can dive in a little bit deeper on Mike Babcock when we return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Looking for a solid 4x4 that checks all the boxes? The 2026 Jeep Compass is in stock now at St. Albert Dodge, and this is a great value, starting from just $36,900. It's a Jeep, so you've got 4x4 capability, plus features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, active lane management, a Park View rear backup camera, and more. Over 30 in stock right now in just about every color you'd want. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Smart, connected, community driven. Jason Gregor sets the standard for sports talk in Edmonton. Join the conversation on Sports 1440. Text Gregor 833-401-1440. Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Druid Irish Pub, Edmonton's favorite soccer home. The Druid Irish Pub is back in the Ice District across from Rogers Place. Watch all the games with 650 Heineken only at the Druid Irish Pub.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
.224, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. And if you missed it, a trade today in the National Hockey League, the Flames acquiring Simon Nemec and Maxim Siplikov from the Devils in exchange for a 27 first-round pick, a 28 first-round pick. Now, neither one of those is Calgary's. They're Vegas and Colorado's picks. Then they get a second rounder in 2026 and left defenseman Etienne Morin. So there you go. So it's a 35th overall pick this year, and then a first in 27, a first in 28 by the Devils for Simon Nemec. Pretty good bet, I think, here for Calgary. Nemec is an NHL play. I think him and White Cloud will be their top two right defensemen next year. I like, there's no chance that Zane Perrick's playing ahead of Zach Whitecloud next year. Come on, people. But nonetheless, we'll see how good Simon Nemec will be. What kind of contracts he's going to get, but you want more opportunity? He's going to get opportunity. Going to get a lot of opportunity in Calgary. And Siplikov, decent young player as well. So I don't mind this trade at all. Like, you get two players who are in the NHL for 3 draft picks and another young player. It's pretty good. Now the Devils, obviously, they might use those picks in other deals. We'll see what happens. The fact that it's Vegas and Colorado's picks, like, those are likely going to be later first round picks. So not all first round picks are created equal. So I'll remember that. Now let's get to the oil report, brought to you by Go Auto. Not only your place for vehicles, but also your place where, hey man, they care about the community. How about giving back over $27 million to local charities and the communities that they work in? That is goauto.ca. That is fantastic. And Mike Babcock, first, let's get into the conversation from his perspective that he had with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, and what he said to them and maybe what they said to him as far as what they were looking for.
I mean, obviously, when you're sitting with those players, number one, you're having fun, but they've played the game long enough and they're good enough players. They have opinions about how things should be. I'm fortunate as a coach, I've had lots of success, and I have thoughts on how things have to be, and we discussed them in detail. We broke down what was going on in the playoffs. We walked through the cliffs. We walked through how it would be done here and how it's going to be done moving ahead. And we talked about Leon, Connor, Zach Hyman, and the rest of this leadership group want to get better. And that's what they've asked of me. And they've told me, we have to be better, and we expect you to make us better. And I said, well, that's great to talk about in June. When camp starts and you're making a guy do things, you might not be so happy. And they said, no, that's not how it's going to be. We're all committed all in on winning. And obviously in that time period, we had gone through enough things and talked about enough things that they felt comfortable with the process, or I wouldn't be here. And I was very clear to them, unless you're 100% all in on Mike Babcock, I have no interest in being the coach.
Unless you're 100% all in on Mike Babcock. Now, I would like somebody out there, maybe who's in an early relationship. I can't even call it relationship yet. Maybe went on a few dates with someone. I would love you, gents, ladies, to pull that one out in the next conversation. Let's say you've been on a few dates. You're kind of, hey, you know what? I think it's going somewhere. Just say, you know what? Unless you're all in on, say your full name, I don't think we need to go on another date. Just try. I'm curious what the reaction would be. Right? Putting it out there. Hey, Babcock's got no shortage of confidence. Right? He is, he believes that his way works. And hey, he's had success. He's won a Stanley Cup one time, but he won a cup. I don't put as much stock personally into the Olympics, only because like it's all-star teams and there's lots of coaches. They're not just one. You got like 4 of the best NHL head coaches on a staff. Everybody's working together. I know somebody at the end of the day has to make the final decision, but there's lots of input from everybody else. And there's lots of good minds together. And that's awesome. And no offense, but Canada, we should win. Even when we lose, like at the last Olympics, we dominated the game. Just couldn't win, right? I don't think it was coaching that cost us the game. But either way, Babcock has a way he's going to be. I don't expect it to change. It did have some other questions, though. And I asked Mike, because he talked earlier about, like, hey, you know what? I have no problem, but like sometimes it felt like he kept using the word, like, be hard on players. Like, that's all it was. And it wasn't anything that ever crossed the line, despite what all these other players have said. So I just asked him, and could I have used a better word? Probably in hindsight, but it just, sometimes, you say a word, it's already out there. You can't pull it back in. And basically what I said was, have you learned how you can be hard on the guys without being a dick?
I think that's a great question. Being hard on people, a lot of times being hard on them is confused with telling the truth. I think when a kid sits at your kitchen table and it's one of your children and they ask you a question, you should tell them the truth. That's called love. Sometimes the truth is hard for them. No matter what happens when you coach, when you scratch people, when you sit them out, when they're at the end of your career and you don't play them, it's hard for them for sure. You try to do that as respectfully as you can. Why? Because you think you're a good human being and that's the right thing to do. Sometimes it's not perceived that way. But I think the other thing is, and I thought Stan said it great, anytime you're out of something and you sit back and you have perspective, you're allowed to grow as a human being. You're out to get better. And I think that's what this league's all about, is getting better. The other thing I said, and then I'd reiterate, is my children are at the age in their careers, they got an opinion on everything. And they sure got an opinion on their dad and what he says and his tone and how to be respectful. I actually don't think my intentions are wrong that often. I think sometimes my tone is, for sure, and we have to work at that. What I've done by hiring DJ, Farley's been with me before, TD Force and I have been together since 93 in Spokane. We're surrounded by people that are going to make you accountable, make you better. They're not afraid of you. They've worked with you. They're friends of yours, but they also know what's right. And I think that's our job, right from the ownership to the management team, through the coaching staff, through the players, is to make each other better. And that's what we're going to do.
He didn't really answer the question. A lot of words. But then I asked, so how do you ensure that the young guys and the depth guys, because if you look in the history of the people that came out, it was either rookies, depth guys who felt like in their experiences, Mike Babcock crossed the line. And so we know that, hey, the top guys, you know what, you're going to be hard on them. I have no problem with that. Lots of top guys say they want to be coached, they want to win. Not that the bottom guys don't want to win, but usually you got to win with your best players. That's just a fact because they're on the ice the most. But how do you ensure that your young and depth guys are held accountable without being demeaning?
Well, I think that's a great question. What I think a huge priority here is to create depth in the organization, and everybody on this team has to be important. And I'm not talking about Stan and more players. I'm talking about the coaching staff doing a better job so everyone on the team is important. You know, it's interesting you say that. I'm harder on the best guys by far than on the guys trying to survive every day. But if you're going to have success, and all you have to do is watch what happened in this year's playoffs, everybody on that team's got to be important, right down to the guys that don't play every single night. And the more depth you create and the more they feel important, the better chance you have to have success. So I actually heard everything you said. I believe the opposite. I believe we're going to empower all those players, and they're going to love it as much as anybody. I think it's the big dogs that are going to be going, he's going to make me do that. He wants me to do that. I think it's harder on them.
That'll be fascinating to watch. I outlined it yesterday on the show. The area where the Oilers need to improve the most was their goals against 5-on-5. And the biggest culprits were mainly their top-end guys. Bouchard, Ekholm, Draisaitl, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, all of them, right? So now Mangiapane actually was the worst. Jake Wallman was up there as well. And I looked at other teams because you can't, Gregor, the guys who are on the ice, that's why I did it per 60 too. So you based on the amount of times you're on the ice, and they were all still higher. Way higher than anybody on Colorado, not even one person, because the Oilers had like 9 guys who were over 2.8 goals against per 60. Colorado's highest was 2.47. Carolina's highest was one guy, 2.83, Sebastian. Dallas had one guy over 2.5. That was Matt Duchene. So when you look at the better teams, and Edmonton is a better team, but I think, and they've come close. They've come very close to winning. So I don't think you can just eliminate that. You think, well, McDavid and Draisaitl can never create offense. Are you kidding yourself? They better damn well be creating offense. That's what they're paid to do. But you can do it while still not trying a dangerous pass in the offensive blue line that leads to an odd man rush the other way, and you give your teammates no chance to cover. Right? Like there's still ways to create lots of points without creating the 5-star 10-bell giveaway. And all those giveaways don't just happen in the defensive zone. Sometimes they happen in the neutral zone, transition the other way. Sometimes they happen high in the offensive zone, and those ones can be very painful. Very painful. So we'll see. A few other ones. I asked DJ Smith about, you're there. You're now different because of the first time with Mike Babcock, you're rookie coach in the NHL. Now you're 10 years into the National Hockey League, a head coach in 2 different organizations. Does that relationship allow you to keep him in check if need be?
Yeah, for sure. But I think a lot of times it's misconstrued. Is Mike was as hard on me as a young coach as any player probably or a lot of players. And it took me some time as a coach, in my first year with him to figure out, where we were going and how he did things. And I think knowing him and, having his son, Michael, come live with me in Ottawa and being the eye in the sky there when my buddy Bob Jones got sick. I know his personality. I know, that he wants to be calm on the bench and in certain situations. And I think he is really calm on the bench. And I think if Mike's, we're going to do whatever we have to do in the back, I'm not afraid to tell Mike the truth. And, when I was a rookie coach, you just don't know the NHL. And to say you can win in junior and come to the NHL, it's the same. It's absolute not true. You have to learn the league. You have to learn what's right, what's wrong, what works, what doesn't work. And here I am, I think in my 12th or 13th year now. I know, one thing is I love players. And I think that's, been well broadcasted around the league is that I love players. I love to talk to players. And I'll continue to do that. And I'm not afraid to tell Mike, I think we should do it this way. Ultimately, he's the head coach. Mike's got to make those decisions. And that's why he's won, a lot of championships and gold medals. So I guess a long answer, but to say, certainly if I feel something, I'm going to say it.
And that will be key and crucial for the Edmonton Oilers. And we'll see where they go from here. Is there a risk factor of this? 100%. There's going to be here's the truth. Like if we peel away all the layers, the Oilers haven't won a cup yet. Vegas has won cups. Lots of people around the league don't like them. Florida has won cups. They're a little arrogant. People around the league don't like them. Right? Even some people, hey, winners, they don't like them. Edmonton Oilers haven't won anything. They're a team that a lot of other fans in other cities don't like. Part of it is they felt like, they got all these first-round picks. It's a joke. And then they won the McDavid one, and people are mad. I understand it all. And they've been good. And they've had a lot of great success. When you can think about, winning, power play success, playoff success. They've had a lot of success the last few years, except the ultimate one. And this just adds, it's funny, Edmonton might be the only non-winner that's a real villain in the NHL. I'll tell you, there's going to be people around, and there's even some Oilers fans that are kind of like, you know what? I feel a little cringy right now. I feel a little dirty. I'm not sure if I like this. I understand it. That's just the truth. And, the organization, it's well within their rights. They made the choice. Just like it's going to be in fans' rights if they support it, if they don't support it. Does winning cure everything? Not everything, but it seems to cover up a lot of things. That's just the truth. I do believe that people will be watching very closely. Very closely. You will have every sleuth as an Oilers fan. I know so-and-so's sisters, cousins, and she told me this story. Everybody will be on it. And that might be a good thing. Will Babcock be on his best behavior early? Yes, I firmly believe he will. But it's like any situation. As you start to get a little bit comfortable, do you relax? Do you all of a sudden get too comfortable? And I'm not a big believer, especially listening today, like Mike Babcock never once said he felt like he crossed the line. Right? I never heard those words. So he obviously, if he doesn't say it, I'm not going to put words in his mouth and say, well, he must feel that. He just didn't say it. No, he didn't say it. He doesn't feel it. That's fine. I don't have to agree with someone on other, as long as they're honest. Right? Like that's where I've gotten so tired of politicians now because it's just a blatant lie. Just tell the truth. I might not have to like it, but at least I'll respect you because you tell the damn truth. So Babcock kind of showed everybody who he was today. It's not remorseful. There's no attrition. It's like, hey, either you want all of Mike Babcock or don't waste my time. And that's what he said. And so the organization said, okay, now we'll see how it plays out. We got a lot of texts to get to, so we'll get to some of those. Some more Stan Bowman answers. Also, DJ Smith coming up at 3 o'clock. Yeah, you're not going to want to miss that as well on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Oodle Noodle Origins.
In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle.
You may get up early, but more than likely, the team at GS Construction have already gotten up before you, grabbed a coffee, headed to the site, and started their day. So while Edmonton wakes up, GS crews are already underground, quietly keeping things moving, upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more. Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Home ice advantage is real at the rink and on your windows. Novo Blinds is Edmonton's own custom manufacturer, trusted by customers around the city. Factory direct pricing with the fastest turnaround around. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
From the first face-off to the final whistle, Sports 1440 is your home for hockey talk. With live coverage, expert analysis, and pre- and post-game shows, we bring you closer to the game. Tune in 24/7, only on Sports 1440, Edmonton's sports station.
Looking for a truck that can handle anything Alberta throws your way? Wolf GMC Buick has the offers to get you behind the wheel. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 models. Plus, trade in an eligible 2015 or newer pickup and receive a $1,000 truck trade-in bonus on select Sierra models. Ask about bonus offers for heroes, students, recent graduates, and more. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
A claims program for harmed Canadians has begun as a result of a landmark tobacco settlement. If you smoked regularly before November 20th, 1998, and were diagnosed with lung cancer, throat cancer, emphysema, or COPD, you may qualify for a significant payment. To learn more, call 888-482-5852 or go to tobaccoclaimscanada.ca.
Looking for mental health or addiction support, but not sure where to start? Contact 211. 211 Alberta can help you navigate treatment and recovery options, counseling, crisis services, and more. And because life's challenges are often connected, they can also help you find food, housing, and employment support. It's free, confidential, available 24/7, and offered in more than 240 languages by phone. 211 Alberta. One number, countless connections.
A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.245. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. We'll get back to lots more Oilers stuff in a sec. But just on a side note, Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. I think my favorite player that I don't watch a lot, but I just enjoy watching on the highlights, might be Sophie Cunningham. Like, She might be like, WNBA obviously doesn't have fights. It's not like an enforcer league, but she seems like the enforcer in the league. She has like I was realized she has a black belt in Taekwondo. Like, she gives two bleeps. And I know it was Joanna Bonner was trying to get in her face the other day, and she's just like, no. And it's how she goes about it, Cons. I don't know if you saw the video. Bonner was kind of yapping at her, pointing at her, and so all Cunningham did was like walk. So this kind of happens under the basket, and then as she's walking towards the sideline, because the girl was pointing her finger at her first, she just like walked around, pointing her finger back, saying nothing. Right. And sometimes the silence is the best, but I don't know if you watch, but Sophie Cunningham's like, she kind of makes me laugh.
Yeah. I mean, I bandwagoned the Phoenix Mercury a couple years ago when she was there with Skylar Diggins and Kia Nurse and Griner. I was hoping they'd be a good team, so I hopped in the bandwagon. And yeah, she's awesome. I think she was like the perfect move for the Fever to bring in, because Caitlin Clark, she's going to get it from the opposition. We've seen that. And we've seen Cunningham like literally go in and barrel people over. So I'm with you. She makes the WNBA very fun to watch as well.
Yeah, for sure. So now 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, my takeaway is that Babcock wants to hold players accountable. When pressed, he won't hold himself accountable. That one comes in from Kyle. Hey, Gregor, I think we're going to be having another coach's press conference, hiring another coach within 6 months. Also, Netherlands going to win the World Cup. Have a great day, from Christian. I like that. Oh, man. Could you imagine? Like, we just talked about the Sophie Cunningham. Can you imagine how many people would be, I told you so. Right? And I understand it. Like, I understand why people are skeptical of this hire. But the truth of the matter is, like, Babcock doesn't care. Right? He doesn't care, and that's his right. He doesn't have to. We'll see. Like, I'm sorry, how you treat certain people matters. But how you treat everybody matters. And I think I don't want to get caught up in the people who are excusing being belligerent and a bully to being hard on players. No, you can be hard on players and be extremely demanding in a respectful way. You can do it. You can do it. Like, Gregor, my takeaway hasn't changed. He'll always coach the way he has. The stars are safe. The younger guys and fourth liners could be in trouble. And like some former players have said, the Oilers better not ever talk about mental health again. Hey, Gregor, the takeaway is that people misconstrue Babcock. Hey, guys, I'm most intrigued to see the power dynamic between the top players and the coach from the floor sider. Do you side floors? Like, what's a floor sider? Am I Cons? You know what that is? I like that. I like the tag. I just want to know, am I missing some inside scoop? The floor sider? I don't know. Let's see. Hey, Gregor, my takeaway would be that Babcock had a detailed assessment of what was wrong with the team, and his idea of how to correct it, and management and the top players seemed to all buy into that. From Mike. Fair. Hey, guys, I'm okay with Babcock as long as he wins. I can tell his persona is a little weird, but it's not huge. The line that has put me off, if you're not 100% on wanting Mike Babcock, blah, blah, blah. Instead of saying he appreciated the chance that the Oilers are giving him, it's the Oilers are lucky to get Mike Babcock. So much for humility. It looks like he has a general patent attitude. I'd rather listen to DJ and let Babcock stay in the background. From Craig. Well, wait till you guys. DJ Smith is coming up after 3 o'clock here. Jim Masson and I had a conversation with him, and I think I'm curious what you take away from that conversation. He is. I'll be honest. I didn't know DJ very well. Obviously, I've talked to him as a head coach, but when he's in Ottawa for that many years, in Toronto, you don't see him very often. So, a little bit in LA here lately, but really a prankster, somebody who likes to keep it light around the room, feels he's a lot more confident in his voice now that he's 10 years in the National Hockey League as both an assistant and a head coach. And as he said, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind with Mike. And as I said, DJ Smith might end up being kind of the saving grace here to just ensure that Babcock wants to coach hard. Great. Coach hard all day long. Just don't cross over the line from coaching hard to demeaning. Right? Like, I honestly don't think I don't think the line's that close. Like, you can yell at players sometimes without being demeaning. Right? Many of you have probably, get your head out of here. Come on. Right? Like, there's things you can do that aren't demeaning where you want to be demanding. I have no problem with that. I didn't like when you try to think you can color inside the lines that somehow being hard on someone means that that's a free rein to be abusive. Hey, Greg's, any insight into think you've used McDavid and Draisaitl in the same line or split up? Kyle, I think you're going to see both, Kyle, like previous coaches. I think there's situations where they will have it. I asked DJ Smith, who coached against him, which one he likes seeing more. And he gave a very good answer that made a lot of sense. So that's my teaser. That's coming up in about 8 minutes' time. So you want to listen to it and I think that it'll be good. So, hey, Gregor, you mentioned that if the list doesn't expand, Nurse may start the years in order. Do you think, A, it's easier to trade, or B, who gets more value between Nurse and Wallman? Either one of those two are moved. Ideally, I'd like Kulak to be the replacement. From Chris. Well, my understanding right now, Chris, is that Kulak, and rightfully so, him and his agent are like, hey, every team we go to plays us in the top four, but nobody wants to pay us like a top four guy. Kulak feels like, hey, man, I'm constantly getting used in a top four role. I should be paid like it. And I think he's totally valid. He's totally there. So he'll test the market, and we'll see what happens. If teams don't offer him the money he wants, would the Oilers offer him, third pair money? 100%. I can tell you that for sure they'd be interested. Now, it doesn't mean that they'd get him. But yes, there would be interest there for certain. As for, who's easier to trade, Nurse has 4 years. Wallman has 7 years. Nurse has a longer track record of being healthy. Has produced a lot of points 5-on-5. I would still say probably a little easier to trade Nurse than Wallman at this stage, in my opinion. So that's where I'd come out on that. Hey, guys, I wasn't a fan of the Bowman hire. I'm not a fan of the Babcock hire. But either this will be a success or I imagine both get fired, so I'm good either way. From Matt. Well, hey, find the positive in it, Matt. Find the positive in it. So let's see it. Guys, I'm excited to give him a chance, see what he can do. Jason from Blackhawk. And hey, my only thing is, second and third chances, it almost feels like Babcock feels like, you know what? I've earned it automatically. I never did anything that wrong. So let's move on. I obviously don't agree with it. But I do respect, Babcock kind of gave you who he was today. Nothing really came across as fake, did it? I'll say that. There was nothing fake in that press conference of Mike Babcock. We don't have to like how he is. Something might have said, some of you do like it. Great. But I will give him the fact that I didn't sense any sort of falsehoods here. He didn't apologize. He didn't say he's remorseful, so he's clearly not. And if he's like, we don't like it, oh well. Ballsy. But at least it's honest. So you know now who it is. No one should be surprised if down the road someone hears a story about mistreating a player. No one should be shocked if it happens, because he doesn't feel he did anything wrong in the past, which is a little mind-blowing based on the stories we heard from players, but that's where we're at. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Cars, wheels, vehicle repair, they do it all. Make sure your vehicle is on the road safely. Go to fountaintire.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
The Calgary Flames have acquired Simone Nemec from the New Jersey Devils, along with winger Maxim Saplikov from the New York Florida Rangers 2026 second-round pick, the Golden Knights 2027 first-round pick, and the Avalanche first-round pick in 2028. Also, defensive prospect Etienne Morin. At the World Cup earlier today, Portugal knocked off Uzbekistan 5-0. Cristiano Ronaldo with his first 2 goals of the World Cup. Right now, scoreless between England and Ghana at halftime. Later tonight, Croatia takes on Panama.
also Colombia and Congo. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays in action. Trail the Astros 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Later tonight, Rays host the Royals. Yankees get Detroit. Cubbies up against the Mets. Reds host the Brewers. Guardians taking on the White Sox. Rockies, Red Sox, and the Braves travel to San Diego. In the CFL, Elks linebacker Will Anderson will miss Thursday's game in Winnipeg with a lingering hamstring injury. Brock Wilkinson sliding into the starting spot. Well, Kyle Pitts and the Atlanta Falcons reaching a contract extension, 3 years, $54 million with $36 million guaranteed, making him the third highest paid tight end in the NFL behind George Kittle and Trey McBride. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Dave McCarthy of SiriusXM and Gareth Fries from Rugby Canada. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Cheering on Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, England, Brazil, Germany, Spain, and the rest of the world at the Druid Irish Pub.
Your World Cup headquarters.
Wear your colors, cheer on your team, and enjoy $6.50 Heineken every game.
Plus, your chance to win a ton of World Cup merch,
including hoodies, jerseys, soccer balls, and more.
The Druid Irish Pub, your World Cup headquarters.
Bringing Edmonton together, one soccer game at a time.
The Druid Irish Pub.
Cheer with us in the Mercer Building across from Rogers Place and Ice District.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports is Sports 1440.
From Low Tide to Kevin Carius and Jason Gregor, we deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
Tune in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week
to Sports 1440.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man.
No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the Bro Zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Boxing Day is back at the Brick. Find amazing deals all weekend long, like save $1,000 off a genuine leather reclining sofa. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, get a 10% instant credit to use towards sleep accessories. And find the lowest prices of the year on select beds, dining tables, and chairs. Don't miss the return of Boxing Day, this Saturday and Sunday, only at the Brick. Exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Your front row seat to thousands of legendary concerts is here. This Prime Day, save big on Stingray All Good Vibes through Prime Video.
I wanna swim.
For just 99 cents a month for 2 months, watch the icons you love. The Tragically Hip, Celine Dion, the Rolling Stones, BTS, and more. Ready for the show? Subscribe to Stingray All Good Vibes at primevideo.com/Stingray. Limited time offer, eligible customers only.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock, how are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Sports 1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday afternoon. Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, and it is Tuesday. Could it be your lucky Tuesday? How about $30 million up for grabs in Lotto Max and 30 prizes of $100,000. Take 100 Genos. Be unreal. 100 Genos after tax. Come on. Big. Be very nice. Go on a nice trip. Maybe get a t-shirt with your name on it. Hey, if you're not 100% all in, you're out. Because I think we're going to have some fun with that one over time. That's a classic.
It's a good line.
Mm-hmm.
Another trade in the NHL, hey?
What is it?
Well, San Jose got the 9th overall pick from the Sens. It's Florida's pick for Eklund, Svoboda, and Kasper Heltunen.
See, I said that. Well, hey.
So San Jose has 2, 9, and 27.
2, 9, and 27. So now, interesting. So they get rid of Eklund just to get the 9th pick. See, I remember I'd say, hey, Eklund for Nemeth should be like, oh, you're going to get way more than that. And I'm like, I don't think so. So 2 players that I thought were going to get dealt, and they got dealt. But I'm a little surprised that the Eklund's going for a pick. So, San Jose I think that illustrates that Mike Greer looks and says, yeah, we're not necessarily maybe as close as everybody thought we were. We're still good, or does he have a bigger trade coming? And he needed to get 2 top 10 picks. But I'll say this, Connor. There was lots of talk about there'd be trades. So far, there's been a lot of trades. So if you missed it earlier, Simon Nemeth going to the Calgary Flames for 2 firsts, neither one that is theirs, but it's 2 firsts they'd acquired from Colorado and Vegas for the Kadri trade and the Rasmus Anderson trade and a 2nd round pick and a prospect. And Nemeth now comes to the Calgary Flames. So lots going on. Now, let's go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. 53 years. They've grown and become one of the most diversified electrical contractors in the province. Service, projects, solar, they do it all. ActionElectrical.net. And caught up with myself and Jim Matheson, caught up with DJ Smith. And at first, I kind of came in a little bit late, so just so you'll hear his first answer. It was asked about, when you have to limit your top-end guys or sometimes play your top-end guys more minutes and how you find the right balance.
15 and a half, 16 minutes back up to 19 and 20. And what I got was a complete buy-in from the team because they realized their Kobe was back. You know, and I don't blame Jimmy. He was transitioning to try and make Byfield the guy and switch the minutes, but it maybe hurt our spirit as a team. And I think if you ask Jim now, he could look back and he'd say, you know what, maybe I pulled the plug a little early. And I think he'd tell Kobe would tell you a lot of nights, boy, I wasn't very good. You know, and maybe I shouldn't have played. But I said, if I'm doing this, I'm going to lean on Cope and see what happens. And, you know, we didn't win in the playoffs. We probably weren't set up to win. But we played as good as anyone in the National Hockey League. And I honestly think we could have won 15 of those games, you know. But when I look at Connor and Leon, no, they're not going to like it. But the biggest thing I see from the outside is their emotion, their body language, their the way they play affects their teammates so much. So even one pat on the back to a guy could mean that guy plays better for 10 days. You know, giving that guy an extra 15 or 20 seconds here where they want it, it's going to hurt them at the moment, but it's going to help them in the long run. And I think that's what we have to build here is trust throughout the lineup. Got to make these kids better, these young guys, the Szymanskis, the Savoys, these guys, they got to get a feel, and they also have to fail. You know, like it can't just be those guys always succeeding and failing. I think when you look at Florida and Carolina, one night it's this line, one night it's this line. You know, some of these kids got to experience failure too. And there's 82 games to figure that out. We got to get the Kings out by the playoffs.
How bummed were you when you didn't get the Kings out?
I was bummed because I thought I deserved it. Yeah. To be honest, you know, you play 650 hockey. We played Colorado as tight as anyone. You know, but that's part of the business. And you know what? There's nothing you can do. I could sit out this year. I mean, they paid me. I could sit. But then, you know, you look at the guys sitting out. You got Bruce Cassidy. You got all these guys. I think I'm a head coach. But at the same point, where could I go and give myself the best chance to try and win a Stanley Cup? And it's here.
So how do you change if you're going to look after the defenseman? You don't know if Nurse is coming back or not. Does that change the way you look at it and say, well, I guess I'll have to wait till maybe free agency or something and not worry about where he fits if you're looking at it?
And I had the opportunity to meet both Bush and Nursey at the World Championships and had a good relationship with him. I hope that I could coach Nursey because you know, he's a big man with reach and length. And, you know, our penalty kill over there was 93%, net 100, and he was the number one guy out the door. And, you know, it was a different system where we pressure. He never had the opportunity to do that. Edmonton, it's been more of a, you know, sit at the net kind of reads kind of play, you know. I think with his length and his athleticism, he can be an elite penalty killer in the National Hockey League. Now, that's not my business. That's you know, his and his family's and Stan. But I would certainly welcome him back.
Now, you coached against them. Where do you come out on McDavid and Draisaitl? As an opposing coach, is it better when they're on one line? You try to say, hey, let's survive? Or do you think it's harder to coach against them when they're on their separate lines?
It's better when they're on one line in my building on the road. So if we're in LA, I want them on one line. I know I got to essentially put all my eggs in one basket to shut them down. Mike Anderson, or Gavrikov, or whoever. And we're going to stay above you the entire night. The other players are just racing on and off because it's all about getting them the puck and giving them the minutes. So if you can keep them off the board and not take a penalty, you can win. I don't like when they got the two of them together in Edmonton because I can't get the matchup. So it's a tough one, and Mike's going to make that decision. But clearly they're going to play together at times, you know. But in this building, it's a real hard one when you get them together, especially when they get you on an icing or they get you on a bad change. You slip your, you know, one of your weaker defensive lines on the ice, and here come them with Bush and Ekholm or Bush and Wallman or whoever it is, and you're pinned in for a deuce. It's like killing a penalty. Where at home you can't do that to me. You know, so it's a big advantage, the home road situation for me.
What did you see from Bush at the World Championships before he got trucked?
I loved his demeanor. I liked his attitude off the ice. We connected right away as I love players. I like, you know, some of them are difficult, some of them are, you know, whatever, but I feel like me and Bush are going to have a really good relationship. I'm going to push him to be, in my opinion, a superstar. I think he's even better than he's been. I think there's a knock on this defensive thing. We got to look at it, and I got to push this guy to be better, plus a ton. And we'd like to remove that from him to give him an opportunity to be a guy that can be an Olympian and all this stuff.
How do you get away from his nonchalant looking attitude?
But you know what it is? And his nonchalantness is what hurts him, but also makes him great. You know what I mean? He's willing to sit in the pocket longer than most quarterbacks to make that play where other guys panic. So it's, when I talk about Drew Doughty, the best part about Drew Doughty is he still thinks he's the greatest player in the league. And that helps them because they never look down on them. Like they always thinking that they got the mental edge on someone. And I feel with Bush, he feels he can make a play at all costs. Now, I talked to him last week when I talked about coming here. I'm like, there's sometimes in football, even Dan Campbell punts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's sometimes it ain't there and you can't force it in. We got to do that. Because if we do that, your game's going to skyrocket. But we got to learn that. And the thing is, I had a month to have a relationship with him. So he knows it's coming from a place of, I'm trying to help this kid. I'm not a dictator. I'm not going to stand up there and say, I got all the answers. It's not, I'm going to try and help him be the best player he can be.
Well, Drew once said to me, he says, the guys that get the puck all the time are always being looked upon as, why you gave that puck away? He says, well, 8 times out of 10, I make a really good play. 2 times, it's not a play, and I kick my ass afterwards. But if I got the puck, is Bush the same way? He's got the puck more in defense.
For sure. And you want to have the puck more. And the guys who have the puck all the time make the most mistakes because they have the puck. So I get the criticism, but, same thing with Drew. Drew, when he comes around the net, there's not as many guys. There's not a ton of guys in the league when he comes around the net that can hit a guy 50 feet away, right on the tape, moving full speed, right? Where he might turn one over, a little later in his career, he might turn one over and they'll be mad Drew did this, but might be the only guy that can do it. So if you don't have him trying it and giving him the confidence to do it, who's going to do it? And, it's hard for these players that get those knocks on them, but without them, you can't win.
You mentioned the PK you played over there, and it was very good. Are you looking to implement that here and have more of an aggressive? Because I talked to Dickinson and Murphy. They were on the best penalty kill as a unit in Chicago. And they talked about continuity. And Dickinson said, he goes, you can play a lot of different systems. You need to find a system that works for the players. Do you feel you've got guys like if Nurse comes back or whoever, Murphy's there, Dick, that you can play that aggressive system?
I've been a pressure guy my whole life. I hate sitting back. But if that's what is going to get the job done, that's what we're going to do. And, me and Mike, and we'll sit down and we'll look at the best in the league. But I know that the 2 best in the league every year is Carolina and Florida. And 2 years ago, it was LA. And we pressured everything that moved. Now, when we look at the forward group and the D group, and can we do that? Then we'll make the best plan. But I can tell you this, the best players in the world want time. So we got to take time and space away. I think the number one thing we're going to improve here is our stand at the line on your entries. Edmonton was 27th in the league last year in denying entry on the penalty kill. It's always been, I've always been a 1-3 guy that's going to hold hard at the line. We're going to try and get that number down into the, if you can get that into the top 10, you're creating turnovers. You're not spending as much time in your zone, I guess.
Well, Connor killed penalties. You want Connor killing penalties?
I'd love him to kill penalties, but he's not going to, I don't think. So, no.
Is that just overkill? It's
just too much. You know what? And I think Babs is a good coach. He knows how to run a bench. So let's say it's 4 penalties in a row. And Connor sat on the bench for 7.5 minutes straight. He's going to get a shift on a penalty kill. You know what I mean? But if you have 3 power plays and 2 penalty kills, I'm going to guess Mike's not putting them on a penalty kill.
The theme that Stan talked about, that this has to become more of a team, that they need the coaches, everybody, they've got to engage 20 guys here. We've been seeing that here for many years, DJ. As a guy that was on the other side, were you able to almost exploit that?
That it was just those guys. I felt a few years ago that there was a team here. They when they had some depth there up front, they had some guys really going. Over the last little bit, I think, when you come in here, if you were to look at the game sheet and you say 97-0-0-0 -1, 29-0-0-0 -1, you're going to win the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's just what's going to happen. And I think that's where Mike's good. I mean, he's going to make some of these guys in point. The Savoys, the Smanskys, if Kapanen's back, he's had Cappy. we got to make some of these other guys important. So it's not, and I think he said it right, which is not we don't want them to score less. It's just we need other guys to be good so that when you get in the playoffs, you could sustain this and not just have to rely on them. No, hey, you get down 2-0 in a game and you're in a playoff series and there's 4 to go and the boys happen to pull it out for you. Right.
You mentioned that you love players and you want to get guys involved. Trent Frederick in Boston was a really impactful player in his role as a third line guy, and it hasn't worked here yet. How do you get a guy like that back?
Got to get his confidence back. Everything in the world is confidence. I don't care if it's me. I'm a confident guy. I'm an outgoing guy. I'm probably going to be the most outgoing guy you guys have seen around here in a while. I'm joking around 24/7 as an assistant coach.
You're going to ride the bike outside.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I keep everyone involved. My job's going to be able to try and give him some confidence. But ultimately, you earn your confidence by your play. But we got to get his confidence back. And if he gets his confidence going, I seen him play at his best. In Boston, where he's finishing checks and crashing under at the net. And I think Mike's style is going to help that, though. It's going to be a forward checking under at the net, tip pucks, track, work. And if he's willing to do that, he's going to find himself as an important player for Mike.
Well, there you go. DJ Smith. Very outgoing, pretty honest, Connor, in a lot of his responses. One thing I took away, Oilers fans, the penalty kill is going to be more aggressive this year. Mark it down. Guaranteed more aggressive. And it was interesting listening to his comments about Darnell Nurse. Coached him at the World Championships. First guy out the gate. They were 93%. He even knew the numbers. 93%, net 100%, which means they're 93%, but then they scored a few shorthanded goals, which gets them up to 100%. And thought he thrived in it. And when Nurse is moving and maybe less stationary, that's better. Now, does a conversation with DJ Smith change Darnell Nurse's mind? I have no idea. Maybe that, that's too far gone. But I do know this. The Oilers aren't just, and I've said this from day one, the Oilers aren't just going to give away Darnell Nurse. I know there's some people who think he has no value. I would disagree with that. He's got strengths to his game. He's got some concerns to his game, no question. Does he want to be here? My one concern that I would have is at times I'm like, is the accountability internally there to say, I need to be better, right? I don't know. Now, he didn't meet with Babcock, right? It was Draisaitl, and he's in Ontario, but it was Draisaitl, Hyman, and McDavid. So maybe it is too far gone. They're going to move it down the road. But if this, and my understanding is it's a pretty short list of teams, like 3 or 4. And I am fairly certain I know 3 for sure. Pittsburgh, Philly, Boston. Can't say if there's a 4th one. I've heard rumblings, but I can't confirm it. So I'll confirm the 3 I know. But if there's not a deal to be made, the Oilers aren't just going to give them away. They're not in the position to do it. They're in a position to win. So Nurse is a positive asset. He's not just a garbage asset like some people think. Right? You're not just going to get rid of him. And sure, it could free up some cap space, but look at the free agent market. It's not plush with top 4 defensemen. So where they go, and not many teams can just absorb $9 million for nothing either, right? So that doesn't happen. But it was interesting. Anything you took away from DJ Smith, Conman?
I mean, he sounds like an extremely likable guy. Hearing what he said about football, I'm like, maybe I want to go have a beer with this guy. The Dan Campbell. Even Dan Campbell punts sometimes, and explaining Bouchard in a fashion of like a quarterback sitting in the pocket. I think those were kind of cool references, things like that. But he seems like a very likable guy, a player's coach that is kind of a straight shooter as well. So yeah, I think I like this hire for the time being. It seems like he's going to be a good fit here. I'm just hoping he's that buffer between the reputation of Babcock and the players.
Yes. Yeah. No, I said that. He's got experience now, a decade in the league. He's been an NHL head coach in 2 different organizations. So I think he understands that part about it, right? You respect what the head coach does. He knows he's the associate coach, but he said it I'm not afraid to speak out, and I'll say something. So on whether it's player deployment, what's his opinion on the PK, etc. So that could be a good thing. And, we got, hey guys, Gregor, I love what you said about addicts. As a recovering addict, you do need someone every now and then that is there helping you out, because most of us do err again. And for Mike Babcock, that's been who he is as a coach for 20 years in the league. Okay, since he entered in Anaheim. Go look at the stories. His first training camp, he's telling veterans not even to skate with the team. Like, what? Like, come on. So right from the get-go, that's what it was. And people let him do it. And so can you completely do a 180? I guess it's possible. Right? There are people that, you know what, that have a severe addiction to lots of things. And honestly, that's what it is. Like, addiction isn't just always drugs and alcohol and porn or anything like that, right? There's other elements to it. And he feels that, I'm just being hard. I'm just being hard on guys. Oh, maybe, DJ Smith's in a position now to speak up more if indeed it ever gets to that. Hey, can't talk to him that way. You can be hard on him, not demeaning. We'll see. Dave McCarthy joins us next. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Mr. Rooter buries evidence in the desert.
I didn't mean to do it. I was forced into it. Yeah, forced. But now, no one will ever know. You've done well, Mr. Rooter. You did something awful, but you covered your tracks. It's done. The last transcript that shows I did a semester of Christian school.
Uncover evidence of the proudest plumber, Mr. Rooter. Noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood, oodle, nood, noodle, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, noodle, nood, oodle, noodle, nood. Noodle, noodle, nood, 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 oodle, noodle, nood.
Promo down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos. For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Our new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in technology, techniques, skills, and people that know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.326. How are you? And welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province of PlayAlberta.ca. Hope you are having a lovely, lovely Tuesday afternoon. We've had lots to talk about. We just heard from DJ Smith, Mike Babcock, of course, a new head coach of the Oilers, Smith, the associate coach. If you missed it, McFarland's going to stay on as assistant coach. He'll run the power play. Pete Aubry's going to stay on as the goalie coach. Paul Coffey will not be returning to the bench as a coach. I'd mentioned that at the end of the season. I didn't think he'd be back, but he will remain in the organization, and we'll see what his title and responsibilities will be. Is it a consultant? Is it more management? We'll see kind of how it plays out over time. And I couldn't get confirmation, no word yet. I don't think they've decided yet on Connor Allen, the skills coach, and what's going to go in there. Babcock and McFarland did work together in the past. So, there's kind of some symmetry there. And I think that they had the announcement. So they'll be looking on the skills coach. Haven't seen it, yay or nay. Couldn't get an answer on that in case a few of you are wondering. Anywho, let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that will safely take you or your group to your next destination. Book your ride today at silentrides.ca. As Dave A. McCarthy from Sirius XM and NHL.com joins us. Davey, how you doing, my man?
Oh, I'm doing good, Jason. What's up with you, buddy?
Oh, just enjoying the sun after a heavy rain-filled few days in Edmonton. 5 inches, Davey. 5 inches of rain in like less than 48 hours. So it was,
I don't know.
Been wet.
I don't know how you guys are dealing with that. That's insane. Like, is there flooding all over your great city or what?
No, well, there's been some areas, some of the sewer systems. There was certain. I know, unfortunately, some basements have been flooded, but luckily, no major floods yet. So, but I will say, like, I've never walked in my backyard grass and had it this wet ever. Like, it's just it's crazy.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a testament to the infrastructure of your good city then, because I can tell you, if 5 inches of rain fell here in a short amount of time as it did where you are, we would have flooding all over the place. It reminds me very briefly of a story occurred about 12, 15 years or so ago. We had that kind of rain in a very short period of time. This was when I was still playing inline hockey. I live in Etobicoke. We played in Markham. And I said, I'm going to go to ball hockey anyway. And I embarked on the trip, and I got about 20 minutes away as I tried to get on the highway, found that the ramp was submerged by, like, we'll call it 4 feet of water. And it was at that point that I turned around and came home. And so clearly you guys are in good shape infrastructure-wise, and that's good to hear.
All right. Give me your takeaways from the Mike Babcock presser today in Edmonton.
Okay, so one, it was interesting that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was not a part of the group that he mentioned. But anyway, I maybe read too much into that. I figured it was something that Zach Hyman would be involved in. Zach's had a lot of success with Mike, and obviously it's going to involve Connor and Leon. What I took away from this was that this is a group that is ready to win, and a group that might understand now that some of the ways they wanted to go about it in the past might not work. And so they're willing to turn to a guy who clearly I don't think is really willing to change the way he operates strategically, in terms of the things that, as he said, must be done in order to have a chance to win. You hope he changes the way he goes about, as he said, his tone, the way he handles personal conversations, the way he holds guys accountable. Those are all things that can change in the way in which you do it. But the nature of needing to do those things will not change, clearly, in Mike's mind. So that's what I took away from it. And otherwise, I thought he handled it fairly well. I will say he played a lot of the hits. Like the kitchen table story was one that he told 10 years ago when he got hired here. I've heard that before. I sometimes put on my vinyl with Mike Babcock's greatest hits, and that's one of the stories that comes up. So that was not original or new or anything like that. But clearly he didn't necessarily adhere to what he said as well as he could have in the past. That we'll see this time if he does. But I think what he said about the meeting with the leadership group and Connor and Leon and Zach, and pushing against them and giving them point by point critique of here's what I think needs to be done in order for us to win. I think that's an indication that the group is at a point now where they have matured to the point where they might be willing to listen to some of those things, because we've talked about this in the past, and I've long said this. I'm not just saying this now. As good of a player as Connor McDavid is, there are times when he says, I think wrongly in his mind, damn it, I'm just going to do it myself, and tries to go 1-on-4, 1-on-5, and that does not work. And you got to get away from that. So I think those are the types of things that Babcock probably said. And the other thing I'll say is he didn't really get into the details of the conversation, but I can assure you one of the things is, okay, Connor, Leon, you're not going to be playing 26 minutes a night anymore. You good with that? And I guess they are. And I agree with him on that, because when he was in Toronto, it was Matthews playing 17, 18, 19 minutes tops. People were losing their mind, and he said, here's why I'm doing it, because it gives us a better chance of having success. And the talk about needing to make other guys feel important, I totally agree with. Edmonton was not just a one-line team. At times, they were like two-thirds of a one-line team. Can't do it. Look at Carolina. Every single guy, including Nick Delorier, who never played, was a big part of that team. Edmonton needs to get there. It can't just be about Connor and Leon, and I think that's what they're going to try and do. It sounds like the leadership group is ready to buy in.
Davey, man, it is Trade Tuesday. So we had the Simon Nemec trade. He goes to Calgary. Then we have the Eklund trade for the 9th overall pick. Eklund goes to Ottawa. San Jose gets the 9th overall. Now we have a new trade. The Washington Capitals just announced this, that they've acquired Jordan Kyrou from the St. Louis Blues for Connor McMichael, a first rounder, the 16th overall pick this year, and Milton Gastrin, who was a second rounder in 2025. So Capitals, they're pushing in their chips too, man. There's lots of teams making some moves here. This is unreal.
Wow. Now that is quite a return for Jordan Kyrou. Good player, under term. He had a down year last year, big time, but St. Louis was no good as a group. I think he has pretty much established himself as, a 30 to 35 goal guy, 70-point type guy. Last year was an outlier. That's okay. You look back at the end of a guy's career, not every year is going to be their best year, and clearly last year was a down year. But they still gave up a lot to get him. The first-round pick is not insignificant, because it should be, it'll be a fairly high pick. And Connor McMichael is a guy who I think they liked in Washington, but I don't know if he necessarily progressed as quickly or as much as they necessarily thought he might. He had a good year, not this past season, the year prior. He had 26 goals. Last year, again, a bit of a down year. That's interesting. So clearly St. Louis wants to get younger with the pick, and they get a live body that'll hopefully replace some of what they're losing out of Jordan Kyrou. So I get that from their standpoint. And Washington, I know, is a team that was disappointed with how last year played out.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised to see them go down this road of trying to upgrade quickly. But what it does suggest to me is I wonder if they're expecting anything else to happen in terms of another pending unrestricted free agent who has a decision to make. Wonder how this affects Alexander Ovechkin's future heading into next season. Because I know you and I talked, look, he's not the same guy that he was 5-8 years ago. Still led their team in scoring last year, and he can be a really effective tool when used appropriately. That is not against other teams' top competition, but it is in sheltered minutes, in offensive zone situations, and as a weapon on the power play. And he's still as good as any in those situations. So if he is interested in coming back, if he's on the borderline, I wonder if that tweaks his interest a little bit now that, at least in the immediacy, Washington seems to have improved their team heading into next year.
Oh, yeah, I think no question. And like, I wonder, I'm still curious about Ovechkin. Is he coming back to Washington or not? But that's wild, man. So lots of trades today. I'll say this, Dave. This is the first time in maybe ever that I can think of. There was lots of hype leading up to the draft, and it has lived up to it, and we're not even there yet.
Yeah, I mean, we hear it every year, but I did have a feeling that this was going to be a year where some of the hype would come through, because there's just a lot of guys that are looking for changes of scenery. We're seeing reports today that Zach Werenski in Columbus will sit down to discuss his future after the draft. So generally, when you're sitting down at this point in the year to discuss one's future, it's not, we'll see you in the fall. Like, that's a text. So keep an eye on that. I still think something is going to happen with Connor Hellebuyck at this point. I still think Florida would love to find a way to get him, though they don't have much left in terms of capital to put together a package at this point that would satisfy Winnipeg's needs. But yeah, it's living up to the hype. And then you go back to the Brady Tkachuk situation the other day. I mean, look, I'm waiting for an apology for everyone who got raked for saying that something is amiss here back in like February and March. Because all I was saying at the time was, well, I have not heard out of the mouth of Brady Tkachuk. Stop it. I'm an Ottawa Senator. I will see you in the fall. I'm the captain. I want to win here. Cut it out. Never heard that. And then to hear that the trade was requested prior to the end of the season, and to hear what he had to say at the end of the season seems really damn disingenuous right now at face value. And so I'm still waiting for those apologies, because I don't like the way that was handled at all.
What do you make of the Nemec trade for Calgary?
Yeah, I like it. I think Simon Nemec is a guy that, for whatever reason, never really got the opportunity that he was looking for in New Jersey, and he's wanted out for a little while. So he goes to Calgary, where he's going to get that opportunity. And I think New Jersey's at the point now where, the reason he wasn't getting that opportunity is because they didn't see him in the role that he wanted to play ahead of other guys that they have on that team. So they move him along, they get something back for him. And, I think that is something that'll hopefully make both parties happy. In terms of the return that New Jersey gets, they get a first-round pick from Vegas next year, a first-round pick from Colorado the year after that, and a second-round pick. So they've got some capital now that I think they're going to use to try to improve the team in the short term. A first-round pick from Vegas and Colorado, I know they're first-round picks. I don't know how appealing they are, because Vegas and Colorado certainly do not intend to be weaker teams. but it's certainly capital that allows you to go out to try to improve your team in the short term. And I think that's what New Jersey is going to try to do moving forward here, because they had a guy in Nemec who they weren't going to use at the level he wanted to be used at. And so I think through a number of steps, they're going to try to improve their group. And I think they should, because I think they underperformed this year based on the caliber of the group that they have. Jack Hughes getting hurt at Thanksgiving did not help, but I think they're better than that. And if they can add another, live, living, breathing body right now that can play a greater role than Simon Nemec, that makes a lot of sense, because I think New Jersey is in kind of like win now mode.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. Like, I don't know where New Jersey's at, to be honest. Like, come away from this trade, like, they got a lot of picks. Maybe Sonny Meta's like, hey, you know what? We're gaining capital to make other moves, because, man, there's been a lot of first-round picks moved here. And I wonder if teams are recognized that maybe first-rounders aren't as valuable as some people think.
Yeah, I think they're more valuable for some franchises than they are for others. So, for instance, for the Winnipeg Jets, for the Ottawa Senators, for teams that are not necessarily the most desirable locations, the only way you get elite level talent is to draft it. And then you have them under control for at least, 7 years, maybe a little bit more than that. For teams like, and I was talking to a guy who played pro, never played in the NHL, but played the AHL in Europe a bunch month or so ago. And he made the point to me. It was totally right. I never thought about it this way. But it was funny, when Florida made that trade the other day, I sent him the deal, and I joked with him. He said, teams like Florida, Vegas, Tampa, there's no reason why they should ever use their first-round picks. They don't need them. Use them to get guys that can help you today, because guys that can deliver things, and what you can show is always better than what you hope for. Get guys that can help you today and sacrifice your first-round picks, because all of those guys that can help you today are willing to come to your team. Winnipeg, Ottawa, Calgary, maybe even Columbus, teams like that, they cannot operate that way because the guys that can help them today are not willing to come there. And so they need to draft and cultivate that talent. So yeah, I think for certain teams, they're realizing that, our first round pick is probably a hell of a lot more valuable to us if we use it as part of a package to improve today. Because even if that doesn't work out, we can use 3 years down the road's first round pick to get another guy and continuing to build for today. And clearly a lot of those teams are always operating with a let's get after it today and not worry about down the road type thing.
Davey, lastly, you look at the St. Louis Blues now, and man, they got a lot. I think they got 3 first-rounders in the top 16. They got 4 first-rounders. How many moves between now and Friday for the St. Louis Blues?
I would expect them to make a move at least, but for a team like St. Louis, I do think they have to get younger. Like, I don't think they really have the group there right now where you can operate in a direction where it's the hell with the future, win now. Like, I think at times it can be difficult for them to get guys. So I think it wouldn't be a bad thing to draft a couple of guys this year so that you can get some quality young talent at a young age in that organization. Probably not all 3 of their picks, but probably 2, I think. Because I look at St. Louis and they're kind of a meh team.
Yeah.
Like, they're not that good. They're not bad either. But that's really the worst place to be. You don't win when you're meh. But you don't really get any better either. And so getting a few young quality players in the organization, I think, would be a good thing. Then if they start to bear fruit relatively quickly, then that becomes a recruitment tool as well to try to get guys to want to come when it's, hey, you can play with this guy or you can play with that guy. They don't have any of those guys right now. I think they could use a couple of those picks, and I'd expect them to make a move with the other or the third.
Yeah, I got to think they got some other trades coming. So it's a wild trade Tuesday, man. It's awesome. Davey, have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you in the brunch on Sunday and next week on the eve of free agency.
There won't be anything left to talk about by that point.
Trades,
Maybe trades.
Yeah, trades around. It's awesome.
I
Appreciate
love
it.
it. See you, buddy.
There you go. That's Dave A. McCarthy from SiriusXM. Quick break. We'll return. We got a lot to catch up on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Rangeroni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
Cheering on Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, England, Brazil, Germany, Spain, and the rest of the world at the Druid Irish Pub.
Your World Cup headquarters.
Wear your colors, cheer on your team, and enjoy $6.50 Heineken every game.
Plus, your chance to win a ton of World Cup merch,
including hoodies, jerseys, soccer balls, and more.
The Druid Irish Pub, your World Cup headquarters.
Bringing Edmonton together, one soccer game at a time.
The Druid Irish Pub.
Cheer with us in the Mercer Building across from Rogers Place and Ice District.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
Experience the home ice advantage with your window coverings. Novo Blinds provides factory direct pricing and fast turnaround on rollers, zebra, blackout, drapery, and motorized blinds. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal is only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Good to go. Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. Mortgagestogo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
The Riverhawks return this weekend for First Responders Firework Friday. Enjoy Country Nights Mechanical Bull on Saturday with Daisy's Saloon. Then Boston Pizza presents baseballs and body slams on Sunday with a real wrestling ring. Fun for the whole family. Tickets at gohawks.ca.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the 2 best names in the boots.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL, helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ul.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ul.ca, your partners in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Rolling through Tuesday afternoon, man, it's a trade Tuesday in the NHL. Nemec is now a Calgary Flame. Eklund goes to Ottawa for the 9th overall pick. Also, Ottawa gets 2 other young prospects. Washington acquires Jordan Kyrou from St. Louis for a first-rounder, 16th overall in the draft, as well as Connor McMichael and Milton Gastrin, who is a second rounder in 2025. So Capital's going all in. Kyrou has 5 years remaining at $8.125 million. So lots and lots of trades. We'll update you again on Darnell Nurse. Nothing really new on that front, but as deals move around, everything changes as it's ongoing. We'll see what happens between now and Friday. I think ideally the Oilers would like to get him traded before July 1st, but if there's no deal on the table, they're not just going to force him away. It's not how it's going to be. Anyway, let's go in the community, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca. And coming up in the month of July, the World Rugby Nations Cup is coming to Edmonton. No surprise in our city. We are great at hosting big events. And to discuss that decision, we have Gareth Reese, who is the Director of Strategic Relations for Rugby Canada. Gareth, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey, Jason. Good to hear from you. And we're looking forward to coming back. We're going to hot things up in your community.
Yeah, so Canada takes on Spain on July 4th. That's the first one. So let's talk about that and just kind of give me your thoughts. Where's this team at? What kind of matchup is this going to be, Canada against Spain?
Well, it should be a great atmosphere. If anyone's enjoying the Soccer World Cup, if you couldn't get to Toronto or Vancouver, same thing, international competition. Spain and Canada pretty evenly matched, both heading to their own Rugby World Cup next year in Australia. And so a huge game for Canada, a bunch of young guys. They're all playing pro all over USA and in Europe. So a chance for them to come back on soil, Canadian soil. And as you said, Edmonton's such a great host. We're out at Clark Stadium, July 4th. 2 games, actually, July 4th and then July 11th, both at 7 p.m. Great stadium now, especially with the additions there. So Canada playing at home, their men's team against Spain and then Portugal.
So this is the inaugural World Rugby Nations Cup.
Yeah.
Kind of tell me about how this came to be.
Well, it's kind of a tier 2 right now. The world, it's trying to we have a World Cup every 4 years, but in between that, they're trying to give meaningful matches, and Canada needs them. So we've got Zimbabwe and Winnipeg the week after we leave Edmonton. There's also a bonus game for Edmonton fans, Tonga and Spain match up on July 11th. Now, if you know anything about rugby and if you've seen the pregame rituals, you've seen the famous New Zealand team, the All Blacks, do their haka before the game, their war dance. Well, this Tongan team have their own version, the Sipitao, it's called. So that's the thing about international rugby. There's a ton going on around the field, just like you're seeing with the soccer fans. A few adult beverages, lots of fun for the family. We got a fan fest on the 5th. So in terms of the sporting side of it, this is huge that these boys get to play at home and show them what they're all about, all the work they've been putting in.
And so there is, there's 2 games now. There is the double header as well, because you've got Tonga versus Spain the next weekend, and then Canada versus Portugal. So that's at 3:45 and 7. So can one ticket will get you to both matches, correct?
Yeah, one Ticketmaster. There's still some tickets available. Ticketmaster.ca. They're still available. But yeah, great for the family. Come out and you get a double header there. And we just want to put on a show, right? Edmonton have been great hosts to us over the years. Some of your listeners may remember we had the Sevens there as part of the World Series. We've been in Commonwealth. We're now in Clark, which we really like. Got a great atmosphere there. And this group of young men have worked really hard, and they got to put on a show in a Canadian jersey again, just like we're seeing with the soccer guys.
So now this tournament does impact the world ranking points, right? So these games this is not just kind of like a friendly, if we want to use a soccer term. Like these are very big games.
Oh, they are. Well, first of all, it's what we call a test match. So it's full on, you're right, world ranking points, but also your national pride. And Spain is a team that we've targeted. We'll get them in the World Cup. We know that's a team that we can beat if we play really, really well. We won't be favorites, But that's kind of what Canadian rugby is all about. We saw our women do that at the Worlds, going to play in front of 80,000 people in their final last year. Canadian rugby players dig deep, and when they put on the red jersey, you get to see something special. So Edmonton fans are going to get to see a little bit of that passion coming out. And Spain and Portugal hopefully will be on the receiving end this summer on the 4th and the 11th of July.
You look at where rugby's gone, Gareth, because you've been part of it for a long time. Where do you see Canadian men's side of rugby as far as where we're at, and where do we need to, what would you need to do to see more growth and improvement up the world rankings?
Yeah, it's the right question. I mean, growth in terms of numbers and community and girls and all sorts of different people playing the game is huge in Canada. We've gone up big numbers, but at the elite level, it's getting really more competitive. But they made a massive job. In Alberta last summer, they came in to Calgary and they smashed the USA, and that got us to the World Cup. So that's a huge first step. The next step is performing well here in Edmonton this summer, beating Spain and Portugal, and building off that. But yeah, there's some challenges. It's tough for some of these guys to get pro jobs, and they're working hard at that. And the American League just shut us out from about half of the jobs the boys had down there playing in the pro league. So it's been a little bit tough, but that's why these games are so important for the guys to get to show the world. And some of them are even auditioning for pro jobs in Europe and in the States. So you're going to see the best of the best when they put on the Canadian jersey.
Well, and you know what? Both Portugal and Spain are both top 20 in the world. Canada's currently, if I go to the world rugby rankings, Canada comes in at 25th on the men's side. So as you mentioned, slight underdog, but not by a crazy amount. So you'll have lots to play for. When you look at it, for fans who are going to come out, who are some of the players, some numbers they should be focusing on?
Well, you guys got a couple of locals in Coetzee and Brock Gallagher. These are Edmonton boys that have worked their asses off to get up there. They're now being called upon to potentially, they haven't picked the team yet, but they're potentially to represent Canada. So a huge moment for them. I called the games for TSN, and Brock Gallagher got on in his home field a couple of years ago. It was a pretty cool moment for a guy. But the other side of the coin is the more established senior veterans, Evan Olmsted and Tyler Ardron, from Vancouver and Lakefield, Ontario, respectively. Really top-level athletes making big coin over in France, and they're coming back to play for Canada. So you get to see some of the best in the world who happen to be Canadian, and then some of the local boys who are really trying to make their mark.
Gareth Rees joins us. The inaugural World Rugby Nations Cup is in Edmonton. There'll be 2 weekends of games. The first ones, of course, go on July 4th, and then the following they'll take on July 11th. Got Canada versus Spain, and then you have a double header: Tonga versus Spain, followed by Canada versus Portugal. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster. Obviously, there's some seats left available. You mentioned the World Cup. Like, are we going to see a lot of Spain and Portugal fans coming into this?
Oh, you'll definitely see some. We always get traveling support. Maybe not like the Norwegians in New York yesterday, but you're going to see some good rivalries out there, and it's all pretty good spirited. But it's lots of fun. If you haven't been in an international rugby match, it's some of the Sevens fans will remember. It's about not just what goes on the pitch. There's a lot going on off the pitch. And as I mentioned, we got a fan fest for the kids. If someone wants to try rugby, that's July 5th. 1 to 3 out there at Clark Stadium. So it's we really like Clark. You know, they also put some money into it, add a few more seats, and it's got a really good buzz to it. If Canada get going and they get those stands shaking, it's a great place to play for the Canadian boys.
Now, you mentioned the Fan Fest on the 5th.
Yeah.
Kind of take me through what's available for that, and for kids who want to try rugby. Like you got some coaches there. How does it work?
That's the whole thing. I mean, I know a lot of people don't know rugby, especially in certain parts of this country. You guys would be supporting the Oilers before you knew what rugby was. But Try Rugby is all about being safe, giving it a go. Girls and boys, just try and see if you enjoy it. Contact sport, Olympic sport now. So there's pathways there, and it's pretty fun. And there'll be some refreshments, and a few of the world stars will be out there, and the families can come and just have a good time. That's what it's all about.
Well, Gareth, as always, we appreciate your time, man. We look forward to it, and we look forward to watching the inaugural World Rugby Nations Cup in Edmonton starting on July 4th. Appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thanks for your time, Jason. We look forward to coming back.
You betcha. That's fantastic, man. Like, that is some top-ranked rugby. I know we've got a real passionate, diehard rugby community in town. You know what? I've been to the Ellerslie Rugby Club a few times. My late buddy Mike Brown, may rest in peace, really got me involved in rugby, man. And when you go down there and you watch the games live, Cons, have you ever been to like a high-level rugby match?
I haven't. I watched a couple high school games back in the day, and then we used to play touch football down at the rugby field. So you'd see the amateurs, but I've never seen top end stuff. So.
I'm telling you, it is unreal. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it and was like the speed of the game. It is physical. It's hard. Very gentlemanly game at the same time. But and obviously, if you like to have a little bit of fun, rugby people are definitely as much about the competition as they're about having fun at the same time. So I recommend to anyone to get down there because it's going to be it'll be fantastic. And this is world class. Like, you got top 20 teams in the world, right? Portugal is on the world rankings. Portugal is 14th. Spain is 17th. Tonga's 19th, and Canada comes in at 25. So 4 of the top 25 nations in rugby will be in town on the 4th and the 11th. So that's awesome. And Gareth himself was quite a player. Dude, you ever seen that dude? Man, like, you look at a lot of the rugby guys and they're just like tanks, like shoulder straight across. Some big dudes, man. Thick. Like this frame was not a rugby frame unless I was the outside guy maybe, and then I'm probably not quick enough. But God, there's some broad shoulder dudes in rugby.
Did you ever play rugby? Did you guys have a high school team?
No, my sister actually played at the U of A, and I remember going to and going to watch it first time. I stood like right on the sidelines, like, oh my God, like this is like, you see football tackles, but they all got equipment on.
Yeah,
you see those rugby now. Their form is a little bit better because no one's leading with their head because no one has a helmet on, right? You got to, but there is some hellacious hits when you get to the outside, man, with the speed. But then even in the scrums, man, you watch them, like, there's a reason why they're wearing those ear guard protectors, man. It's crazy in there. So, but it's honestly, I loved it. Like, it's an entertaining game. I didn't know a lot of the rules till I sat with Brown, and once I understood them all, I love it. Like, I'm looking forward to going. So I think I'm going to take my son. He's never seen rugby live. And anytime you can get to see some of the best players in the world, it's always good. It's good athletics. So I love it. We'll return. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Let's get to Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property services you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Stable jobs create stable lives. HireGood.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
Busy day in the NHL. The Capitals acquiring Jordan Kyrou from the Blues for Connor McMichael, Milton Gastreen, and the 16th overall pick in Friday's draft. St. Louis now has the 11th, 15th, 16th, and 29th overall selections. The Ottawa Senators acquiring William Eklund, Kasper Altunen, and Brandon Svoboda from the Panthers, or for the Panthers' 9th overall pick. San Jose now selecting 2nd, 9th, and 27th for the Calgary Flames. From the New Jersey Devils, along with winger Maxim Sipakov. For the Rangers, 2026 second rounder, the Golden Knights 2027 first rounder, and the Avs first rounder in 2028, as well as defensive prospect Etienne Morin. At the World Cup today, England and Ghana scoreless draw at full time. Earlier today, Portugal over Uzbekistan 5-0. Cristiano Ronaldo with his first 2 goals of the World Cup. Coming up at 5, Croatia takes on Panama. Then at 8 o'clock, it's Congo DR versus Colombia. Major League Baseball, Jays in action in the bottom of the 6th. They trail the Astros 4-2. Later on today, Tigers, Yankees, Mariners in Pittsburgh. The Nationals hosting the Phillies. Cubs get the Mets. Rockies up against the Red Sox. Orioles in Anaheim with the Padres hosting the Braves. From the CFL, Elks linebacker Will Anderson will miss Thursday's game in Winnipeg with the lingering hamstring injury. Brock Williamson to slide into his spot. In the NFL, Kyle Pitts on the Falcons agreeing to a 3-year deal worth $54 million, 36 of which is guaranteed. And the NBA draft tonight, 6 o'clock. Wizards on the clock. Jazz and Grizz round out the top 3. The Raptors select 19th and 50th. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll get to the stats of the day, ask 5 questions, and be joined by Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or a consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You want it? We got
Tuesday afternoon.
At Harley Davidson of Edmonton, we have a huge bike inventory just waiting for you to ride. We're not a car dealer. We're your local family bike shop. We are riders supporting riders. Come find your dream bike here at Harley Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980. Find us at hdedmonton.com.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans, stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Our new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more, like Sprite Berry Bliss,
14.
Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream, all swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Here's what you need to know about Lux Windows. We work hard. We come in early, we stay late, we go above and beyond, and then we go a little further. Not for awards or a pat on the back. We work hard so that choosing our windows and doors is an easy decision for you. It's the Alberta way. It's the Lux way. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
Alan Olson Auctions presents the annual Rimby Summer Consignment Sale. Online bidding is open now and starts closing tomorrow at alanolsonauction.com. Bid on a wide variety of machinery, including tractors, haying and harvest equipment, new and used attachments, trucks and trailers, and construction equipment, plus passenger vehicles, sea cans, cattle handling equipment, mobile homes, buildings, recreational equipment, and over 2,000 miscellaneous lots. For details, call Alan Olson Auctions at 403-843-2747 or visit alanolsonauction.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu price order. Enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock, how you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely Tuesday. Heck, it's Trade Tuesday, man. There's 3 trades already in the NHL. We had the big trade last night in the NBA with Giannis going to the Heat. But if you missed it in the National Hockey League, no other trades, by the way. But they did announce their coaching staff today. Babcock, DJ Smith coming in as coach and associate coach. Paul McFarland will stay on as assistant coach, run the power play. Pete Aubry's going to stay on as the goaltending coach. And Paul Coffey will not be returning to the bench. He will remain in the organization. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can always text us your thoughts. We got Tyler Yaremchuk coming up. We'll get more. We got loads and loads of text to get to. 833-401-1440. I got to read this one from unknown texter. Hey, Gregor, you're exceedingly judgmental without knowing the facts. Have you heard Mike's side of the story of any of these allegations? Because if you did, you'd be saying what you're accusing him of. He has no reason to get into a public debate on these allegations, which is likely no different than you have been a part of in your life. I've lost respect for you and Low Tide. We're in a similar attitude. The NHL heard his side of the story and have assured and assessed it using an unfavorable eye and have said there's nothing there. Well, let's get to a few things, unnamed texter. First of all, when you claim that he did actually say his side of things on many of them. And what he said was, well, I was trying to teach Mitch about hard work. He didn't deny anything that happened. He said, well, you know what? It didn't work out. And in the case of Franz, he's like, oh, I didn't know he felt that way. Because I guess the guy was just going to be happy about, being called fat, saying his teammates hate him over and over again. Now, if you want to accuse Chris Chelios of lying, feel free. Show us the evidence you have to claim that he just made it up. Because Babcock never denied any of them. Never once. He hasn't denied it. He said, well, hey, if they took it the wrong way, I'm sorry. That wasn't my intention. That's what he said. So as for the NHL, light wasn't favorable for him. So basically they're saying there's nothing there that can legally, because that's what it would come down to. Right? Court fight is saying, yeah, you're going to hold this guy out of the league. And they said, well, we don't really like what we did, but legally we can't keep you out. So that's what it comes down to. My understanding is that it had something to do with, looking at medical stuff. So away we go. And it's okay if you lose respect for me. That's fine. I really don't respect people who want to make excuses for repeat offenders. So it's all good. Right? I don't lose sleep at night when anonymous people say they've lost respect for me. Like, not in the one least. Sorry, man. That's not how it works. I'm pretty comfortable in reporting the facts. I gave Mike 3 different questions. And actually, he said 2 of them, they're really good questions. So I'm happy with my questions. He didn't seem offended by it. We move on. Right? And I think it's important to monitor, to say, hey, you want to be hard on players? Great. You want to get the Oilers to play better defensively? Awesome. We've only been talking about it for 5 years on the show. Actually, probably 15 years on the show. So it's not an issue. But you can be hard on players without having to demean them. It's just that simple. Right? I don't see why this is controversial. But sadly, in our society, people will always want to make excuses for the offenders. It happens all the time. Look at it. Watch how many people, men or women, when they accuse someone of rape, oh, no, they did it, right? Repeat offender. Somebody could have to pay out $5 million in civil court about, oh, yeah, but no, he's fine. Right? His own wife on record in court. No, it's okay. So some people, guess what? They're delusional. They'll just put their blinders on. They don't want to see the truth. Right? Mike Babcock has a history of crossing the line. Maybe he won't again. I'm only talking about what's happened to this point. I really hope he doesn't, because I don't want another player to have to go through that. It's not good for anybody. So we'll see how it goes moving forward. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, how about the St. Louis Blues take the Ruck Twins 15th and 16th? Oh, that could happen, right? It's possible. That might be a little high, but, maybe. Right? If you look at, I don't know if I've seen them ranked that high in the draft. I think Liam's ranked a little higher, correct? If I'm not mistaken, Cons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even he, I've seen like early 20s.
Yeah. So I don't know if they would take him, but that would be an interesting one. Maybe do trade down to get him maybe closer to that 29 area. Possible. Because currently they have 11, 15, 16, and 29. Now, the last team that had multiple picks in a short window that I recall was the Boston Bruins in 2015, Connor McDavid's draft. And that's when they obviously one of those picks turned out very well for them. Mr. DeBrusk. He took him first. Actually took him second, right? They took Zabril, the defenseman. Then they took DeBrusk. And then they took, was it Senishin? I don't even know how to say his name, but those two, the guys who they took 14th and 16th, like I think played a combined 90 NHL games. And Jake DeBrusk has obviously had a very good career. And hey, the Oilers, you weren't the only one because your team traded away the 16th pick for Griffin Reinhart. And you think about all the players you could have taken instead of Zabril or Senishin or traded for Griffin Reinhart. Matt Barzal, Kyle Connor, Thomas Chabot, Joel Eriksson-Ek, Ilya Samsonov, Brock Besser, Travis Konechny, Jack Roslovic. Like, lots of guys, man. They had a lot of opportunities. Wasn't just one player. Like, I'm listening like 10 or 15 where the scouts just, they missed it a little bit. So I'm sure the amateur scouts are loving this opportunity, but I'd be stunned if the Blues picked all four choices on Friday. I think they're going to make a deal before then. So, hey, Gregor, do all these trades mean free agency July 1st is going to be a bust from Steve? Well, Steve, have you looked at the free agent market? There's not a lot of players available. So, like Alex Tuck reported again that he's likely going to test free agency. He would be probably the biggest name forward-wise on the free agent market. Other than him, I guess technically Ovi could be an unrestricted free agent. Could you imagine if he left Washington? Like, no one's even talked about that possibility. And I know it's probably super, super low, but it'd be funny. Rasmus Anderson, a lot of people think he's going to re-sign in Vegas. I know we've had Ken Bolke on for months saying he's heard the deal's done. There's just some reason why they haven't announced it yet, so we'll see. John Carlson. Anders Lee is an intriguing name. Anthony Mantha, fresh off a 33-goal season. Jacob Trouba, Matt Zuccarello, Michael Bunting, Mason Marchment, Sergei Bobrovsky, Boone Jenner, Mario Ferraro, Victor Arvidsson, Jack Roslovic, Stuart Skinner. Those are the names. Brett Kulak for free agents. So I don't know if it's going to be I never thought it was going to be a wow, look at this trade. But like anything, you can always find good deals in free agency, but usually after July 1st. That's always the major sticking point is waiting for you.
No, Gregor, even the CFL getting in on the trade market. The Bombers acquiring Drew Brown from the Red Blacks for a first in next year's and a second round pick in 2028.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Came down from Derek Taylor. So
all right.
Everyone's doing it.
Why not, man? It's Trade Tuesday. We love it. It's going to be awesome for a long time. So, hey, guy, what do you think about Patrick Kane? Do you think he would come to Edmonton? Oof. From Conrad from Beaumont. Huh. So, Patrick Kane still had a pretty good year last year, right? 57 points in 67 games. Pretty solid on a bad Detroit team. Man, he's a really smart player. He's a dynamic player. I don't know. Like, he'll be 38 in November. Like, I don't know. Cons, would you take Patrick? Like, I guess on a 1-year deal for, whatever money, maybe. I don't know. He's played in Chicago, and New York for the what, 20 games, and then he played in Detroit. So is it coming all the way out west, more travel? Obviously, there's the chance to play with McDavid and Draisaitl. That's still appealing. But is Patrick Kane, like, he wouldn't be a July 1st signing for me, Cons? Kind of see what the market holds out, and maybe if I get him on if you get him on a 1-year deal, it could be an incentive bonus. But even then, I don't want incentives that are too easy to meet, and then they're just carry over for the next year, right? As a dead cap space, that's not ideal. So, yeah, like, I love Patrick Kane in his prime. God, he's a smart player, and God, I'd want him just for the shootouts, man. He's unreal in the shootout. Like, he's fun to watch. Yeah, I'd probably still take him on a 1-year deal at like $1.5 million. Like, I don't know, what's he gonna command? I have no idea. But yeah, just his smarts. Like, he's a big game player. He hasn't really been in the playoffs very much lately. So I think who knows? Jordan Stahl just had an out-of-body experience in the playoffs. 37. Patrick Kane's been a pretty good playoff performer in his career with 138 points already. So, yeah, I'd be shocked if he came all the way out west. But if he was really serious about it on a 1-year deal at the right AAV, I would probably strongly consider it.
He was 1 year, $3 million last year.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go
the
3.
cap hit.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go 3.
I mean, the 57 points in 67 games.
Yeah.
It'll be 38 in November. I mean, Gregor, I'm on board. I would do this one.
You'd be in on it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I would be. And yeah, guys have won 3 cups.
Yeah, no, it's true. But like he won 3 cups a long time ago, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's, it's nice. I just like, is he going to play now? Obviously, he excelled under Coach Quenneville, no question. What did he say he had? So he had like 30 plus points, I think, at 5-on-5, which is still pretty good production. I outlined it, right? There's not a lot of 30-point guys 5-on-5. So, yeah, I think I could do it for a year. I'm not paying him $3 million. I would say that. Like, if his bonus had to do with winning the cup, then I would pay the bonus. That's where I'd come on Patrick Kane. But I would, you know what? Guys like Ike Howard and Matty Savoy could probably learn a lot from Patrick Kane, right? Smaller, really smart, really skilled player who excelled in the league when everybody thought, oh, smaller guys can't excel. He excelled. So that could be an advantage, potentially.
Got to grow that mullet.
You play Kane, so then Nuge is Kane's on my first line with McDavid, or is he playing with Draisaitl? Well, either one. It's a good discussion to have. But I don't know if you have Kane and you have Nugent Hopkins and you have Howard and you have Podkolzin, it's a lot of lefties, right? Like, I want Podkolzin in my top. I need somebody who's physical and a good forechecker. I have to have it. So there you go. Quick break. We will return. Talking more hockey. We'll hear more from Babcock. I do have there's one answer from from Stan Bowman I want you to listen to. That's coming up next. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Also, Tyler Yaremchuk will join the show.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Nissan breaking through the defense. Look at the control. What a move. What a finish. Kicks has done it again.
Nissan Kicks is the 2026 Best Buy winner from Consumer Guide Automotive for 5 years in a row. The Score with Nissan event is on, and you can score by financing a 2026 Nissan Kicks S for 0% for 36 months, or get up to $3,000 cash purchase bonus on other Kicks models. Conditions apply. Visit Nissan.ca for details.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information. For decades, the pioneer spirit of Alberta has been exemplified in the chuck wagon racing legacy of the Dorchester family. And today, you can experience it every time you hit the links. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course is in top mid-season form. Enjoy the longer days on this historic 18-hole course near Pigeon Lake. Stunning views, reasonably priced, and only 40 minutes from Edmonton on newly paved roads. Play the course built with pioneer spirit and family pride. Dorchester Ranch Golf Course. Book your tee time today at dorchestergolf.ca.
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. I was tired of slow, unreliable internet connections, so I signed up for Starlink. It's fast, reliable even in bad weather, and has made streaming for movie nights and online gaming so much better. The summer doesn't mean a break from watching sports, and I've been streaming all the games seamlessly when at the family farm, despite the remote location. If you're ready for a better internet experience, you can order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-888-GO-STARLINK.
Alberta is growing, but our highways are crumbling. Are you tired of the rough ride? In the last 15 years, our population has grown with hundreds of thousands more cars and trucks on our highways. Today, more than 15% of Alberta's highways are in poor condition. Cutting highway maintenance doesn't save money. It makes repairs more expensive. Don't let the government ignore the problem. Your MLA works for you. Tell them to fix our roads. Visit fixourroads.com for more information.
A message from the Alberta Road Builders and Heavy Construction Association.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Ranger-oni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa Pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
Hi, Edmonton. Fuel prices are climbing, and Subaru fights back with the all-new, all-electric 2026 Trail Seeker. With up to 444 kilometers of range, fast charging, legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, the Trail Seeker is built to help you go further. And when summer adventure calls, it's ready with towing capacity of 1,587 kilograms. Test drive the all-new Trail Seeker. Visit your local Subaru dealership today and seek every trail. Welcome to Uncommon.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Rent it, run it, get it serviced. Japa Equipment Rentals has you covered from their shop to your job site. Alberta's construction pros have counted on Japa for rentals and service since 1972. JapaMachinery.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
.428. Gregor. Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And kind of an early Jays game today. They're late in the game. They're tied at 4 between them and Houston. So we'll update you as that goes. Kind of a rare, or it started, I think, like 4 o'clock in Toronto, 2 o'clock our time. So odd midweek. Sometimes they'll have like the midweek games like early in the afternoon, but kind of a late. It's like a hooky Tuesday, I'm guessing.
TR played hooky from the show to go to it.
Oh, well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I'm ratting him out.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be, we talked about Price is Right. He says he or someone he's with officially will be on Price is Right tomorrow.
Really?
He got the word. So hopefully it's TR.
Oh, God. Jeez. So is it live? Like, is it on TV tomorrow, or they record it tomorrow and then it goes live later?
I think it's taped.
Oh, okay. Live to tape.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
but I'm rooting for him, or his dad. His dad seems like a hoot.
Yeah. So good. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. As we're going to talk a little hockey right now as we go to the Oil Report, brought to you by Go Auto. Over 15,000 vehicles for you to choose. Now that it's back and sunny, get out of hibernation. Want to go test drive car, truck, van, SUV? GoAuto.ca. Find one of their 73 locations near you, and they will have the color and the brand that you want at GoAuto.ca. As Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilersnation and Daily Faceoff joins us. Ty, good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm doing good. The Jays game starting early is because there's one of the World Cup matches in Toronto later on today, so they had to, move everything around so traffic's not absolutely bananas.
Okay. So even without Canada playing, they're still moving it around. Okay. Well, obviously a lot of those other places, other games are still drawing pretty damn big crowds. So
yes.
that would be a fun place to be. No question. The Edmonton Oilers, what was your takeaway from the press conference today with Bowman, Babcock, and Smith?
I generally like being an optimistic person, so I was kind of going into it being like, all right, maybe Mike Babcock will come out and say that, he's looked in the mirror a bit and he's grown, he's reflected on certain things in his career, and he's shown a willingness to change. And credit to you and Rashog and Speck and everyone there. Like, I think you guys all asked him like hard but fair questions, and you gave him an opportunity to get out in front of some of those things, some of those allegations, stories, whatever you want to use. Like, you gave him a chance to come out and be like, yep, I regret the way I acted in the past. That's what I wanted to hear from Mike Babcock, and we just didn't really get a lot of that. It feels like we're getting the same old Mike Babcock, and that concerns me on a number of levels. Like, his last two stops, Columbus and Toronto, have both been, I think it's fair to label them both as failures, but for different reasons. Like Columbus, he never got a chance, or we never got a chance to see what he could do with the on-ice product, but off ice, which is always the thing with Mike Babcock, it was a failure. And in Toronto, they couldn't get out of the first round with a really talented hockey team. It was a failure. And for me, if your last two stops are failures, you need to come out and say, hey, what I was doing wasn't working, and I've, taken time to learn and grow. And I didn't get enough of that out of him in that press conference to really change my tune on this hiring.
I didn't like Mike Babcock. He is what he is, right? Like he wasn't remorseful. He's, even said, hey, if you don't want all of Mike Babcock, then it's not going to work, right? This is who I am. I'm going to hold players accountable. He kept using that, and that's fine. I have no problem with holding players accountable, but I think there's a fine line, and he was obviously willing to cross in the past. Now, I really think the DJ Smith factor is big here, because DJ Smith has now been in the league 10 years. When he came to Toronto, it was his rookie time as a coach, right? And now he's been a head coach in Ottawa, and then he was a brief time in LA. And so I think he has more experience having been a head coach. He probably understands more of it at the NHL level. He even admitted that anyone who tells you come out of junior, you win, that's the same in the NHL, it's not close. Like, it's a totally different game and how you deal with players and everything. And so I even had a conversation with him later, and he said, I won't be afraid to speak up. But he kind of felt that, and him and Mike are very close, that he said, like, hey, I think Mike probably realizes he said some things the wrong way, and, we'll see. But I think he'll be kind of watchful of it more. And that's all you're going to expect here. I think Babcock believes he comes in, he's going to do it his way. It's going to be hard on guys. And if he steps out of line, then probably someone else is going to have to rein him in.
Yeah, and I hope there is that level of, again, I'm all for a hard-nosed coach who keeps players accountable. I do think this Oilers team could benefit from that, but what's going to happen if, because again, I'll try to give him the benefit of the doubt here, if Babcock crosses a line, is it, to your point, is it DJ Smith who says, hey, Like, we're not going to do that here? Or is the Oilers leadership group going to be capable of, if he's being, over the top on a player, or they don't like the way something's going, can Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, who are way more accomplished and advanced in their career than, Matthews and Marner were when Babcock had them in Toronto, like, can those two guys in Edmonton walk into the room and say, knock on the door and go, that's not going to fly here. You can be hard-nosed, but what you're doing in whatever instance it is, like, that isn't how we're going to operate. And if that happens, is Babcock going to be receptive to it? Or is he going to say, you told me you were all in on Mike Babcock. This is Mike Babcock. This is what you're getting. I love the referencing himself in the third person too. That made me chuckle.
Yeah. It was interesting talking to DJ Smith, a few things. McDavid's not penalty killing next year. So that's a thumbs up. But Stan Bowman, they talked a lot about, we really need to have more players feel like they're part of it. And they made it pretty clear today that McDavid and Draisaitl's minutes are coming down. And I don't think they're coming down by 30 seconds. I think they're going to be around the 20-minute mark, pushing maybe 21, but I'm not even sure it'll get that high.
And again, I'm fine with that. I've been lobbying for McDavid to come off the penalty kill for a while now. I feel like it's an opportunity. And listen, we've heard this complaint through a couple of different Oilers regimes. I remember Derek Ryan speaking out after one of the coaching changes, and he said, like, we want to have a role and identity. And I think that pointing to the penalty kill and having a group of players and saying, hey, the way you're going to impact a game is not on the power play with Connor and Leon. It might not be playing top 6 minutes, but if you do good on the penalty kill and you take pride in that, you have a spot in this lineup as an everyday player, all of that stuff. So I like pulling Connor off the penalty kill. I think that's a good decision. I think lowering their minutes is smart as well, depending on the type of situation in the game, of course. But I think keeping those guys fresher for the playoffs, having guys who are hot at different points and being comfortable leaning on them, like, these are all things that I think past head coaches haven't done all that well. And that is a little bit of a refreshing, I guess, narrative to hear. But the other part of it is, how are Mike Babcock and DJ Smith and the whole staff, can they avoid falling into the same trap that some of these previous coaches did? Like, we heard a very similar thing when Jay Woodcroft took over. It's, hey, we need more than just the big dogs going. And then by the end of Woodcroft's tenure, he leaned too heavily on 97 and 29. And then the same thing with Knobloch. He takes over. It's refreshing. Everyone has a role. It's great. And then by the end of it, I think everyone would agree he leaned on the big dogs too much. So, I mean, again, similar to how Mike Babcock said, players, it's good for players to say in June they want to be pushed, but how are they going to act in training camp, or how are they going to react to what I'm doing in training camp? I think it's the same thing when I hear this stuff about McDavid and Draisaitl. It's very easy in June to say, we're doing this, this, and this with Connor and Leon. Well, you wait till you're down 3-1 in a game in November and you really want to win that game. Then will we see Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl's minutes come down,
Well, I think if you want to be consistent with it, yes, you're going to have to. You can't just say, well, I'm consistent with it until we lose a game or two, and then suddenly I'm not consistent anymore.
Yeah. Again, I agree with you. It's just going to be interesting to see how or if it plays out that way.
Yeah. The one major factor here, now that we got the coaches in place, of course, is goaltending. And, Connor Ingram is a pending free agent. Obviously, they got Tristan Jarry. There's lots of rumblings of trades. We've said it's Trade Tuesday. We've already seen 3 trades today in the NHL. So, what do you think Bowman's direction is going to be for goaltending?
So the problem, again, Ingram being a UFA, it's fair to assume that 8-9 days from now, July 1st or 2nd, that guy's probably going to sign, which means.
Oh, I think we lost Ty. Boom. Just like that. So you look at the interesting one is really in Florida and Bobrovsky and Tarasov and what, because I think if Tarasov makes it to market, he becomes a very intriguing candidate. Ty is back with us. So Ty, let you pick it up where you snuck out.
I just think it's like a little bit of a limited runway here. If your fallback plan is Ingram, but you're going to go look at the trade market, which they should, see if there's a bigger improvement out there. You only have a few days here leading up to the draft and the start of free agency to do it. I don't know what the costs are going to be like on the goalie front, because if you look at the cost on the forward front from today, oh boy, the teams that are selling these players are getting some pretty solid returns, at least from my vantage point. So if you don't get an upgrade on the trade market, I think Connor Ingram's the best guy. I know you have Woodley on. Those are great segments. I had Woodley on with Carter Hutton last week. He seems to be high on Connor Ingram compared to the rest of the free agent group. So I don't think it's not a great look. I'll use air quotes PR wise to run back the same two goalies, but change for the sake of change isn't always the answer either. Look at Carolina. Freddie Anderson had some horrendous playoff performances in back-to-back years. Like the conference finals were not kind to him. Carolina stuck with it, and he rewarded them this year. Like sometimes change for the sake of change isn't always the best option. If they get to free agency and there's not a clear trade out there, July 1, I'm not totally against bringing back Connor Ingram.
Yeah, possibly. Hey, look at the goalie. Carter Hart made it to the Stanley Cup final. Anderson made it to the final. Brandon Bussey made it to the final. None of those guys are elite goalies. So, and we saw it. They had really good first 3 rounds, and then Bussey was pretty good in the Stanley Cup final, but the other two sure weren't. So, but neither team was like dominant defensively until the final game 5 and 6. And I thought Carolina kind of locked it down, and that helped their goaltender. And then he made some big saves at the same time. So that was good for them. The other one is, and we had the question if, and I think it's a massive if, but there's all the time, Patrick Kane, 1-year deal. Do you see Patrick Kane as a fit in Edmonton on a 1-year deal?
I don't. I heard the talk about it in the last segment. Last year, his 5-on-5 scoring got a little bit better. Year before that, 12 of his 21 goals came on the power play. The year before that, I think it was a couple of them came on the power play, but I worry about the 5-on-5 production as he gets closer and closer to 40. I worry about his ability to play with speed. I know it's always been one of Patrick Kane's superpowers that he slows down the game. He attracts a bunch of defenders to him, then he finds the open guy. I just don't know if he plays fast enough to keep up on a line with Connor McDavid. So I would pass. I'd prefer if the Oilers went for some younger options with some upside. And the thing with, again, this Oilers team, I guess you could replace Nugent Hopkins on the power play with whoever you bring in. And I'm not against Nugent Hopkins not being a permanent fixture on power play 1 going forward. But like the power play is not broken in Edmonton. So a guy like Patrick Kane, who does a lot of damage with the man advantage, if that's not going to provide a massive boost to Edmonton, well, that's one of the big reasons why you would go out and look at a guy like Patrick Kane. So I think I'd prefer some younger options there. And I think you made a really good point too. Patrick Kane's been kind of out east. I know Chicago is a Western Conference team and all that, but he's been in that time zone, Central or Eastern, for a long time. I don't think he's just going to flip and change.
A lot of people are thinking, Babcock is really going to cut down on the power play time. And I'm not sold that the power play time is what is hurting the Edmonton Oilers. It's the fact that you got guys on the power play. Like Nugent Hopkins can't be on your first unit power play and first unit penalty kill. That can't happen anymore, right? You can't have McDavid and Draisaitl be on the first unit power play all the time and then have a little bit of penalty kill time and then play all the offensive zone face-off times. Like to me, when you have the best power play in the NHL, taking it away to say, hey, you know what? We want to give our second unit more time, even though it's going to drastically lower our goals. Like, why would you do that? Just give them less 5-on-5 time.
Oh, if I was the coach of the team, I'd have those 5 guys out there for 2 minutes every single power play. And, maybe if you want to get to a point where Bouchard swaps for Wallman and, maybe it's Nugent Hopkins swaps for Savoy and you put him in that Mark Letestu bumper spot. Like there's ways to give a few guys that treat, but I'm more with you of like off icings. Maybe you don't always have to go Connor and Leon in the ozone. Maybe that's where you can reward some guys and say, hey, we're giving you an offensive zone shift against a really tired team. Like there's ways to give guys their offensive opportunities without sitting there and taking Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl off the power play, because their power play, we've seen it. I mean, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but like it can single-handedly win them games when it is red hot. Like it's that good. So I don't know why you'd mess with a power play that's proven it can be the best in the history of the sport. Like that is a superpower that the Oilers have. You lean into that, you find other spots for other guys to kind of get their cookies and get their treats offensively.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I could see, what I could see is Nugent Hopkins. Remember when Kane and Hyman used to split their duties almost 50-50? Mm-hmm. I could see them doing that with Nugent Hopkins potentially, because I do believe they're going to, as much as Draisaitl McDavid's numbers are coming down, I think Ryan Nugent Hopkins' time on ice is going to come down this year. I'm not sure he's going to be your number one. Well, Dickinson should be your number one penalty killing center. I don't think there's any debate on that, right? Like that's what you signed him for. Give him the role. Let him relish in the role. If Nugent Hopkins wants to be in your third rotation of forwards, I have no problem with that. But he can't be the main guy. I know he's smart, but he's not as good. So if you're lowering the minutes of your two best players, then you should be lowering his minutes too as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think a big priority for the Oilers this offseason is going out, getting another top 6 winger so that you can slide Nugent Hopkins down, playing with Jason Dickinson and sort of like a shutdown line that can take on some heavy matchups. Like, I think the goal here, as we slot everything out throughout the summer and debate our line combinations, a player should be added so that Ryan Nugent Hopkins isn't, marked in pen on that top line. There should be another piece added to push him down the depth chart a little bit, which is fine. I mean, his contract's not egregious. He's getting into his 30s. It's natural to think he could take a slight step back. I think you should prepare for that. So again, seeing the Kyrou trade today, that's a guy I wanted the Oilers to get their hands on. Holy smokes. If that's the acquisition cost, the Oilers kind of had no chance at a player like that.
Well, yeah, most likely. But what did you make of that Eklund San Jose trade?
So I like Eklund. I don't know if I 9th overall pick in the draft like William Eklund. His career high in goals is 16. I get he's still young. He's only 23.
Yeah, but guess what? He's a 7th overall pick. Is the 9th clearly going to be better?
I mean, no. Honestly, I don't think I really get it for either side. Like, I look at San Jose and I go, like, that's great. You're going to have all these guys who are 18 and 19 coming into the NHL, but keeping a guy who's a little bit older than him, a little bit more experienced, who maybe those young guys can kind of lean on, but still relate to because he's pretty close to their age group. Like, if I'm San Jose, I would have wanted to keep him. I'm not sure what having the 9th overall pick really does for them. And if I'm Ottawa, I don't know if I do the 9th overall straight up for Will Eklund. I think I would have preferred to see them, if I'm a Sens fan, package the 9th overall with something and aim a little bit higher than, again, a guy who hasn't yet proven in the NHL that he can score you 20 goals.
Yeah, he's definitely more of a disher, for sure. And they've got some shooters there. I was intrigued by San Jose because, well, Eklund, as you mentioned, is a young guy. He was 7th overall pick in 2021. So after they develop him, he has a few years, 3 years, pretty consistent, got a little bit better, right? 50 back-to-back 50-point seasons. Like, that's a legit top 6 producing player. And you trade him for a number 9 pick. So maybe they're just like, we're going to take, Stenberg number 2, and then we're going to get one of the defensemen we like at number 9 because we think there's 4 or 5 of them, and away we go. But I'm like, did you not just take a step back? Maybe this is Mike Gurr saying, we still think we're a little bit farther the way than people think. Because to me, you get a 23-year-old for an 18-year-old, you're not any closer to being competitive.
No, you're not. And that's like another part of this for me. And that's almost what I was maybe trying to say with like Eklund being 23. You just had a season where Macklin Celebrini announced to the world that he is a superstar franchise level player. Like, that season he had was unbelievable. You took a step forward as a franchise. And now you're going to trust that Stenberg. And again, maybe in the long run, we'll look at this and be like, yep, correct move. They picked someone great at 9. Maybe Eklund tops out as a 20 to 25 goal guy. And it's like, okay, he's good, but not great. Like, maybe it works out. But I was looking at San Jose as being a team who I thought was going to like put the pedal to the floor a little bit this summer. You have all this cap space. Like, there was no rush to trade William Eklund in this deal. And the 9th overall pick will not help you win next year. So I thought they were going to go pedal down and really, really try to make themselves a playoff team. They're clearly still taking the long-term approach. And it's interesting, I guess. I'll say that. Like, when I saw Eklund was going to Ottawa, I was sitting there and I'm like, are they going to do something crazy and like get Thomas Chabot? Like, are they going to go get someone for their blue line? And then to kind of see it just be a future asset like that, it was like, oh, okie dokie.
Ty, have yourself a great day. I'll let you go watch the 9th inning of the Jays game, and we'll talk to you next week.
Beautiful timing. Thank you.
There you go. It's Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilersnation Daily Faceoff. Quick break. We'll come back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We got Spec coming up. We got 5 questions. We'll hear more from Stan Bowman. Remember, I didn't even play that answer next segment. Just Bowman when he was talking about what they need to see different from their team. Interesting answer.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Did you know there are actually 3 seasons we experience in June? Spring, summer, and construction season. And while roads may be narrowed and detours are everywhere, GS construction crews are on site every day doing the work because the city doesn't stop, and neither do we. As we build and upgrade infrastructure, life continues around us. That's why we never lose sight of what matters most, making sure everyone, including our team, returns home safely at the end of the day. For more on what we do, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Boxing Day is back at the Brick. Find amazing deals all weekend long, like save $1,000 off a genuine leather reclining sofa. Save up to 40% off select mattresses, plus get a 10% instant credit to use towards sleep accessories. And find the lowest prices of the year on select beds, dining tables, and chairs. Don't miss the return of Boxing Day this Saturday and Sunday, only at the Brick. Exclusions apply. See you in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
To the person who doesn't know a dahlia from a dandelion, hi, your Safeway PA announcer here. Don't worry, that's our job. So enjoy our wide range of custom bouquets, build your own, and other seasonal options. Whether you know the names or not, that's the beauty of it. Whether you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, or just need a pop of color in the man cave, just say the occasion and our floral team will take care of the rest. For fresh flowers, visit a Safeway near you.
Nissan's through once again, and they've done it 12 years straight. Nissan ropes a 2026 Best Buy winner from Consumer Guide Automotive for 12 years in a row. A Score with Nissan event is on, and qualifying Nissan owners can score by leasing a 2026 Rogue S for the equivalent of $99 weekly at 0% for 36 months with $0 down. Visit Nissan.ca for details. $430 monthly. Includes $1,100 Nissan bonus and 0.4% royalty rate reduction. Conditions apply. Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Gravity's holding me back. I want you to hold that palm in your hand. Why don't we leave it at that? Nothing to say.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Hockeyology, Edmonton's home for elite hockey development, skating analysis, performance assessments, and year-round training at West Edmonton Mall. Elite hockey development at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Holy cow, man. Oka Motors. This guy come up with big hits all the time or what? It's another huge hit for him, man. He's starting to deliver at crunch time for the Toronto Blue Jays as they score 2 in the bottom of the 8th. Vladdy had hit a double too, Cons. Is that 2 doubles in that inning? Good for him. So Jays now with a 6-4 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. As we get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. And right now, Boxing Week, the summer edition, is on all weekend long. You can have lowest prices of the year on select beds, dining tables, and chairs. Also, door crashers starting at just $69 on Saturday and Sunday. So check it out at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. I want to get your initial thoughts or takeaways on the presser today. Not just Babcock, but Bowman, DJ, any of the 3, anything you took away from it all.
Well, I guess my biggest takeaway is that the organization seems pretty convinced that their top guys are going to play less this year. So that was probably the biggest takeaway for me.
I like when DJ Smith kind of jumped in, inserted himself into the conversation. Thought he had something to get in there. The question wasn't directed to him, but the response ended, and he kind of said, "Hey, I got something to add here." I think that's a good sign of things to come, where he's not afraid to, if need be, voice his opinion and say something else. I kind of like that little trait that he brought. Now, just sticking with him, what do you think is the best trait that DJ Smith brings to the table as the associate coach?
Real good humor. You always need that from an associate coach. Someone's going to keep things light, especially when you have a quote hard ass coach. But and he's also now got 10 years experience, right? Like he's been a head coach in the National Hockey League, so I think he understands the pressures that go with that. I understand he thinks kind of like what you're looking for in an associate coach, what you need from him without being asked. So I think that's where he'll bring some experience and a good sense of humor.
Kind of just the sense of humor stood out, keeping things light, relatable. And I think that's probably a good trait to have just with different types of players, picking up on how they need to be coached versus maybe just getting screamed at. If that's how practice goes, maybe he can go talk to them after practice and kind of put it in a different way. And I think that's important. I think it's, it's coaching, but it's teaching and finding ways to help these guys. So I think that'll definitely help them out. Question number 3, the NHL today was announcing updates on possible expansion with Houston as the main target. Outside of Houston, is there any other market that you think would be a potential home for hockey that has not already been tapped into?
Well, I think they're going to go back to Arizona. So, but you're talking one they've never been to before, so don't revisit one. Ooh, that's a good question. Yes, Southern Ontario. There should be 2 teams there. Like, come on. What are they doing?
I will say, one I haven't heard too much of, but could you maybe like Wisconsin, Milwaukee? They love their hockey there. Obviously, collegiately, the Badgers have a stranglehold on it there. But I think they've had the Admirals in Milwaukee. Was that the team out there? I'll try a different market and say Milwaukee, maybe someone else to do on those cold nights out there. Question number 4 for you. Giannis joining the Heat. Where do you rank them in the Eastern Conference today?
Go ahead.
I'm going to say 2 or 3. I don't have them unseating the Knicks, and I think the Celtics will be back, but I think the Miami Heat will be right in that pocket there. 2, 3. I think this is a really good move for them, and I'm excited to see Giannis go to a big-time market like Miami.
Really? Hey, you think that much? Oof. When I look at the East, and like, are they suddenly better than the Pistons? Like, I don't know. Celtics, Pistons, Knicks, no. I'm not, like, they were 20 wins back of the Cavaliers. So I might put him 6th. Honestly, I'll put him 6th.
Final question for you today. It is National Detroit Style Pizza Day. So in honor of that, of all the varieties, what would you say is your favorite style of pizza and go-to toppings?
Go ahead.
I love the crust. I can't do it too often, but Chicago deep dish, to me, I think that is just the best. The toppings, less important. Pepperoni bacon is always going to be a good one for me, but getting that nice thick crust for Chicago style, I think that would be the one for me.
Okay. It's funny you say that because I used to love that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm more of a thin crust guy. I love the thin crust when you have good. I'm a big fan of shrimp. Become huge fan with pesto, shrimp, and bacon. I like that combination. So mix in, and I like some Frank's Red Hot on my pizza now. Big fan.
Just on top, I would assume, or dipping.
Oh yeah, no, just on top.
So on top, yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, just on top. So I don't. I guess like if I was going. Like, is Neapolitan considered thin crust? I don't know, probably not. But yeah, I definitely am more into the thin crust now. I don't want it too much where I'm just filling up on bread. I don't like it.
Yeah, I can't go that style too often, but every once in a while, a nice deep dish is pretty good.
Okay, that's fair. I can understand it. Mentioning that Drew Brown trade, the quarterback going from Ottawa to the Bombers for a first rounder and a conditional second rounder. Now, the Bombers also get a second rounder too. So it's really Drew Brown for a first round pick. And obviously that is some protection for Collaros. That's really what that is. So, and probably for Ottawa, saves a little cap space. And I'm not sure how enamored he was in that situation. So, but like, I'm not sold that Jake Meyer is better than him yet. So maybe he's more consistent. We'll know, but that's an interesting deal for me.
And Brown did spend 4 years in Winnipeg prior, so
that makes
familiarity.
Sense. Yeah. So he's been around, and I don't know, maybe I'm overrating Drew Brown. Probably very likely. Let's take a quick Sports 1440 update. The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Coming up, we got Spec. We're going to hear from Bowman and Babcock and more. But first, here's the Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC and the Road Trip Ready event. You got a week left. That's it, baby. Before Canada Day, stop in the biggest sale of the year. Great deals. You don't have to haggle, no bargain, just really good old-fashioned deals. NorthgateGM.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Busy day in the NHL. Capitals acquiring Jordan Kyrou from the Blues for Connor McMichael, Nolan Gasping, and 16th overall pick in Friday's draft. The Blues now have the 11th, 15th, 16th, and 29 overall selections. Meanwhile, the Ottawa Senators acquiring William Ekman, Kasper Halttunen, and Brandon Pagoda for the Panthers' 9th overall pick. Now the Sharks are picking 2nd, 9th, and 27th. At the World Cup today, England and Ghana scoreless draw. Portugal knocked off Uzbekistan 5-0. Cristiano Ronaldo had 2 goals in that one. Right now, Croatia Panama scoreless, still just in the 2nd minute. And tonight, Congo DR gets Colombia from Mexico. Major League Baseball, the Jays in action right now, leading Houston 6-4. Houston does have the bases loaded top of the 9th with just 1 out. Elsewhere, Marlins and Rangers scoreless, as of the Nationals and Phillies. Royals lead the Rays 2-1 midway through the 2nd. Later tonight, Mets host the Cubs, the Brewers in Cincinnati, Twins get the Dodgers, Red Sox, Rockies, Padres, Braves, while the Athletics in San Fran taking on the Giants. From the CFL, Elks linebacker Nick Anderson will miss Thursday's game in Winnipeg with a lingering hamstring injury. The Bombers acquired Drew Brown and a 2nd-round pick from the Red Blacks for a 1st-round pick next year and a conditional 2nd-rounder in 2028. While Kyle Pitts and the Atlanta Falcons agreeing on a 3-year contract for $54 million. In the association, the NBA draft goes tonight. The Wizards on the clock. Set to get going at 6 o'clock. The Raptors will select 19th and 50th. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, Derek Van Diest from NHL.com, and we'll get to Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better.
Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
I would love someone to explain. Welcome back, by the way. Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. I would love someone to explain to me why there's so much more catcher interference suddenly in the major leagues of baseball. Like, why do catchers suddenly have to move up closer behind the plate and get their glove up, knocking the bat when the guy's swinging it? Like, I don't understand it. Why? Why is this happening? Is it really that necessary? The bases are loaded. The guy can't steal a base. What am I missing here? Like, I see it happening all the time. Houston just tied the game because Valenzuela, well, that became in the 5th round. Then they got a sacrifice fly to make it 6-6. Because Valenzuela got and it wasn't even close, Cons. Like, it wasn't even close.
No, he had his left hand fully extended there.
Yeah, like, I don't know. What about baseball guys? Let me know. What am I missing? Why is this all of a sudden a thing in MLB? It just seems stupid to me. Just catch the damn ball, keep your glove out of the bat swing. Doesn't seem that difficult. Never saw it for years. All of a sudden now it's a thing. It's a weird thing. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. As it is time for Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. And if you are looking for a gig, top men, operators, pipe layers, they're hiring. Well, gsconstruction.ca, look up careers. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, you're a baseball guy. What the hell's going on with all the catcher interference?
I don't know what are catchers doing differently. Like, the call's been there for 1,000 years. It's always been there.
Yeah.
But you didn't used to see it very often. Now all of a sudden you're seeing it. So why, buddy? Got me. What's the theory out there? Are guys trying to, like, no one's stealing if the bases are loaded. So what are we doing here? Getting our glove in the way? I don't get it.
Yeah. So I don't get it at all. So no, doesn't make much sense to me whatsoever. So who knows? Now, I asked everybody, what was your number one takeaway from the press conference today?
Well, my number one thing, one of the things that really struck me was Babcock, for better or for worse, didn't blow any smoke up anybody's rear end. He didn't come out and say, I'm a changed man and I'm going to work on myself and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do. we threw all the fastballs we had at him, and he took them and fielded them and sent them back our way, and without ever there was no song and dance. There's no, oh, you don't know who you're getting a different guy. You know exactly who you're getting Mike Babcock, and he hasn't changed. So for better or for worse, at least the guy comes as advertised, and I thought I didn't want to see a guy telling me something he's not, because I wouldn't have believed it. How about you?
Yeah, well, hey, I'll say this. I don't have to like Babcock's past, but he didn't lie. And I'd much rather have someone say, this is who he is. I'm showing everybody who I am. I'm not remorseful. I'm going to hold players accountable. I did find it funny that in Columbus now suddenly, well, his wife called him, and that's why he left. That was a new one for me, but
revisionist history a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there was no like, oh, I'm really sorry, pretend stuff. So I'd actually prefer that, right? Like in a time where our politicians just lie to us, like I wish we were like Wales, Spec. Wales put in a law. Politicians cannot lie. I love it. It's a great law. It's like the fact that you even had to put it in as a law illustrates it was a big problem. So I like the fact that nothing he said today would suggest that, hey, no one should be under any illusions that Mike Babcock doesn't believe that Mike Babcock is great. And it's an honor for Edmonton to get to hire Mike Babcock. that was the takeaway I got in that one answer.
Yeah. Like he does refer to himself in the third person. And anyway, I think, so that's interesting. There's a few things that he came out with today that I've been banging on for a while around here, the need for this organization, this roster to become more of a team, the need for the inclusion of the bottom players, the other 13 guys, not just the top 5 or 6. That to me has been important for a long time, and he came out and said it in as many words. It sounds like he wants to hold his top players a little more accountable for, the plays they make and the way they play the game. And I think that that's what's needed here. Like, Jay, they've been running this thing out for 10 years and they don't have a Stanley Cup. So if he's coming in here and he's doing things the exact same way, I'm going to say, well, that's a dumb idea. He's coming in here and he's doing things different, and different can't be bad, my friend. Different can't be bad.
The star guys are going to play less. That's, we know for sure. Where do you think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is going to play?
Where does he fit in all this? That's a good question. Nugent's at that point in his career where he does need to sort of figure out his identity. What is he? I guess he's not a third-line center on this team, right? Because that's Dickinson's job now. So, that tells me that Nugent-Hopkins is a winger. He's got to be a top 6 winger. They don't have so many great wingers that he gets pushed out of the top 6, do they, Jay?
Well, it depends kind of what you want from your third line. He might, right? If there's Hyman, there's Podkolzin, there's Savoy, there's Howard, maybe. You never know.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Maybe he sits on a line down on third line with Dickinson and, somebody else, a third line right side guy, whoever that turns out to be, possibly. So I don't know. You know what? I don't know where Babcock plans on using these guys. I think what I did gather and what I had been told already is that the one thing about Babcock, again, like him or not, he's a very, very prepared coach. He's a guy that's going to spend his summer digging in on this team and on what should work and what's going to get ready. And he said that. He says, we're going back now for projects, and it's going to be projects. And a month before camp, we're going to be ready for camp. And one of those projects is going to be where part of the project will be how best to use Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'll be fascinated to see where that lands, my friend.
Yeah, it will be fascinating. Now, the other aspect here, Spec, we saw a trade Tuesday. Now, none of these trades, because people are always like, why didn't the Oilers get involved in Kyra? I'm like, well, because they don't have a 16th overall pick. So kind of ends discussion right there.
Yeah. Or 9th overall pick,
right?
Right.
Yeah. So you're not getting involved in those, but teams are. The San Jose trade to me was very interesting because you're giving up a guy who was a 7th overall pick in 2021, who's now had back-to-back 50-point seasons, which puts you as a guaranteed top 6 forward, and you're trading for a 9th overall pick. I'm just kind of curious as to why they think that gets them moving closer to where they want to be.
Yeah, and a 9th overall pick who's like 18 years old. Eklund. How old is Eklund? 22?
He was a 2021, so he's 23.
23. He's already got 2 50-point seasons. He's 23 years old on a not very good team. Like, I don't know. What are you going to draft a guy better than that? So I don't get that trade. I'm not sure what Mike Greer's plan would be. Like, I'd love to have him explain it to me because he's a really smart guy and he has a plan. Don't get me wrong. But on the outset here, I don't love, like, again, if you draft a guy and he's 23 years old, he's got 2 50-point seasons, that's a hell of a good draft pick right there. Because when he's 25, there's a good chance he's going to be a 70-point player. So I'm not sure where they're going. I heard you earlier, and I think you're right. Maybe he thinks they're not quite as ready as we thought they were. But, these rebuilds, you can't keep stepping back 2 years and stepping back. Like, they lose 4 years from Eklund to this 18-year-old they picked. That's pretty heavy. That's a pretty heavy step back for me. I'm not sure what they're doing down there.
Yeah. To me, I wonder if Mike Greer just says, hey, we got a lot of small forwards. Maybe there's something they like, or spec. They got a bigger move coming, and they're going to move the number 2 and the number 9 to get some legit players right now.
Oh, there's that too. There is that too. He is well stocked with 2 top 10 picks in a nice draft year. Or you could certainly, if you trade the 2, and settle for the 9, you could get a hell of a player for 2. So I don't know, man. Let's see it's been. I don't know if it's the economic sort of horizon or atmosphere or environment, I guess, in the NHL, or I'm not sure what it is, but it's been a really, really active week here heading into the draft. There's lots of teams doing lots of stuff, man. And it's great. I love it.
Yeah, no, it is good.
It's good for sports radio.
Yeah. Going back to the press conference today, when Bowman talked about the need to get more players involved, we've heard that before. It was there beforehand. It seems like that's the one they're kind of putting solely on the coach.
Well, that's the guy whose job it is to make that happen. Like, the GM says, look, here's a problem we have. I mean, this goes so far back, Jay. We've been talking about this for forever. It goes back to the Derek Ryan days and before that. Remember Derek Ryan as a fourth-line center going, man, sure wouldn't mind feeling like I'm part of this team. It's been going on here for way too long. I personally have always thought it was an issue, and now the organization is coming out and verbalizing that yes, we're too top heavy. There's too much responsibility with our top guys. It's too much on them. It doesn't work. All the things we've been talking about. I hate to say I told you so or we told you so. I'm not the only guy who said it. But to me, it's been evident for a long time. They need to build a team here. They need a team, and they need responsibility and ownership. And what did they say? Feel the bottom guys, the rest of the team needs to feel important, is what Babcock said today. And part of that's going to be, like, you won't see Connor McDavid killing penalties this year, right? I think DJ Smith basically said that to us afterwards. So that's fine with me. I don't need Connor McDavid killing penalties. That's a place where somebody else gets a little bit of confidence. I don't think you need to give that to your top player. Do you, Jay?
No, I've argued it for years. I don't want McDavid on the penalty kill. Why? Blocking shots, get the hell out of here. Like, no offense to the guys who have to do it, but I'm not having McDavid do it. And then you can't do the job properly if you're not blocking shots. So just kind of how it goes. So I don't see it. Lastly, for you, Spec, did you hear anything? Because I couldn't get it confirmed, but have you heard the length of Babcock's contract? Is it 3 years?
I did not hear. No, I have not heard yet. That's something a guy better look into here, hey?
Yeah. Like, that'd be my guess. Would be 3 years. So we'll see kind of what happens, but that'd probably be my guess.
Standard practice is 3 years. When you get a coach like this that no one else wants to hire, sometimes you can get away with 2 years. He signed a 2-year deal in Columbus when he was there. And let's face it, Mike Babcock doesn't have a whole bunch of teams chasing after him here. So, I would say this is a relatively team-friendly contract, whatever it is. You don't need to break the bank for Mike Babcock because, like I say, no one else is hiring him at this point. So let's see what it is. I mean, gosh, does it matter in Edmonton? Coaches don't last 2 seasons here, do they, Jay?
Fair point, Spec. Fair point.
Who's covered more of those coaches' press conferences than you and me and Rishog and all the guys in the press corps here? Like, every second year we're at one of these things.
Well, yeah, considering, I started in 2001. And so I think about, Mac T, my first, coach is here for a while, but since Craig McTavish left, no, it has been been a pretty steady rotation through the coaching carousel from Quinn to Rennie to Kruger to Eakins to then there was does Todd Nelson count? I guess it was kind of an interim one on a very short-term basis.
Hitchcock was in there for a little while.
Hitchcock, McClellan, Tippett, Woodcroft, Knobloch, and now him. Yeah, so it's a
lots of guys,
lots of coaches since 2009. That's when McT left. So.
Well, this is Connor McDavid's, I think, 6th.
I think it might be Nuge's
10. I think Nuge's on 10.
Be 10. Yeah. Now I know that's like a short period of time for Nelson and Hitch, but still 10.
Hey, the good teams, the great organizations, it doesn't work that way. And Edmonton has been a winning organization, certainly for the last 7 years. You can't say they haven't been, but that is a blemish. You know, they have not found the right coach and built a program around him the way Tampa has with Cooper. You know, and that's, I think, what you want, like, or Brindamore in Carolina. They have a program, and they don't have to do a summer full of projects to figure out what we're going to do in the fall. They know what they're doing in the fall in Raleigh and in Tampa. They know because they got the same coaching staff. So that's a hindrance here. And it would be I'm not telling you Mike Babcock coming here for 8 years, but you're always better off when you find the right guy and stick with him, aren't you?
Usually. If it's working, you need you have to have a good GM that gives the coach decent players to have a competitive team. There is that. There's very few coaches that have crap players and you have a good team.
They've turned over a couple GMs in Carolina for Rod Brindamore. Certainly, Brisebois is an excellent GM in Tampa.
Yeah.
And in Edmonton, they've hired and fired a bunch of GMs. So there you go, right?
Yeah. Yeah, what happens. So, Spec, have yourself a great day. We will chat with you tomorrow. World Cup. We got Elks. We'll probably have some more trades in the NHL. It's going to be a fun week. Appreciate your time.
All right. Sounds good, brother.
There you go. It's Mark Spec with the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. We will return. DVD joins us. We also got Cam Tate and some stats of the day for you to chew on. Gregor Show here on Sports 1440.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Rangeroni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Boxing Day is back at the Brick. Find amazing deals all weekend long, like save $1,000 off a genuine leather reclining sofa. Save up to 40% off select mattresses. Plus, get a 10% instant credit to use towards sleep accessories. And find the lowest prices of the year on select beds, dining tables, and chairs. Don't miss the return of Boxing Day, this Saturday and Sunday, only at the Brick. Exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
It's finally time to escape your four walls and see where your four wheels can take you. Sherwood Honda helps you head out on the road the way you want to, with the right vehicle, including freedom-seeking SUVs that give you the versatility to drive where, when, and how you want to. It sure would do some good to get out and stretch your horizons, and sure would be easier with Sherwood Honda.
Lux Windows was founded in 1969 with 5 people and a dream. 55 years later, our team of experts cares a whole lot about building and installing the best possible windows and doors. Because Lux is not just an Alberta-made product. We're one big Alberta-made family. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.527 as we roll through, man. There is lots going on in the sporting world today. Of course, Oilers announced Babcock and Smith. No real surprise there. You got 3 trades in the National Hockey League. The Calgary Flames acquiring Simon Nemec from New Jersey. You have the Sharks trading William Eklund to Ottawa for the 9th overall pick. A few other prospects going to Ottawa as well. Like, wow, San Jose is really valuing that 9th overall pick, man. Then you had the St. Louis Blues shipping Kyrou to Washington in exchange for McMichael, the 16th, and another prospect. So that's 3 deals today. Lots of, Nemec, Kyrou, Eklund, all NHL players. Calgary traded 2 first-rounders. Neither one of them were theirs. They're Colorado and Vegas's first-rounders down the road, so probably, unless there's like a big surprise, kind of late first-round picks to get young Simon Nemec and Siplikov. So I don't mind that trade at all for the Calgary Flames. Let's touch on that and more here. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca as we get to our free agent draft frenzy brought to you by All-Star Construction. Founded in 2009. Sergey and Mark continue to grow, and guess what? They are hiring. We're just looking for a foot in, looking for some general laborers. They got that all the way up for experienced operators. So check it out at All-Star Construction. Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Join us, DVD. How you doing?
Good, Jason. How you doing today?
I'm excellent, man. It's an easy day to host a radio show, and there's so much going on. Not to mention the Jays going now in extra innings right now against Houston. We got World Cup of soccer. 3 trades in the NHL. Let's start there. What do you make of the Washington trade, and then you look at the San Jose, the Calgary? Which of those 3 trades kind of intrigues you the most?
Well, what was Washington trade again? I remember that. Kind of saw where did Washington get?
Washington got Kyrou.
Okay, yes, that was the one. Yes, that was intriguing because I think a lot of Oilers fans were hoping that Kyrou would come this way, weren't they? That's an interesting trade, and it's funny. Washington, I'm still interested to see what they're going to do there with Ovechkin because I know that they're wanting to move past him, but I don't think they're going to. Like Ovechkin's not retiring, just the way he kind of finished the year last year. But I do think that's a team that's kind of reloading, and I think that's a team that thinks they're close, that this is a team that obviously won the President's Trophy a couple years ago. So they're right there. And to get an impact player like Kyrou, that's a big trade for me. That's a guy that can really kind of make an impact on your team and kind of get you over that hump, I guess. But yeah, to me, he's probably the most impact player. I know Nemec is a good player as well, but I think Kyrou is a really impact player, and he could really, really kind of prosper there in Washington. But I still kind of interested to see what's going to happen with Ovechkin, whether they're going to bring him back for another year. I think he wants to play, but I think the Capitals are ready to move on. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, that's a very, very good trade, and that's a guy that had been rumored to be going, because I think St. Louis is kind of reloading as well, but I don't think they're right there yet. So I think Washington really kind of puts themselves in a mix with that trade.
The Oilers today, Mike Babcock basically just said, "Hey, this is who I am. Take it or leave it." The Oilers took it. I think DJ Smith in the conversation here, I think DJ Smith, we can't underestimate the importance that he will bring to the staff.
Yeah, I think he's there to keep things on the rails, and I think he's there to make sure, like, he's known Mike Babcock for a while, so I think Mike Babcock wanted to bring in a guy that he can trust, and that can say to him, "Okay, Mike, you're getting a little too close to this line here, or you're crossing the line." So I think he's a guy that can come in here and kind of keep things on the rail, and he's also a guy that, hey, if things do go south, if things don't go the way they're supposed to, he can kind of come in and step in and be the head coach if the Oilers need that. But I think he's obviously an interesting hire. He comes in, it's a package deal, but yeah, you were there. It was an interesting press conference today. There was no, "Well, I'm sorry what I did in Columbus." There's no, "I've changed my ways." There's no real, he wasn't really apologetic about what he had done in the past. It was more like, "Well, this is the things I do, and some players like it, some players don't." And the answer to the Columbus question was interesting. He's like, "Yeah, I didn't basically have the support of management. Guys they felt uncomfortable. I didn't have the support, so I left." And that was kind of interesting to hear, but I wasn't sure what we were going to get out of Mike Babcock going into that press conference. He hasn't been in the game for a long, long time. So, but I wasn't sure, that he would get the apologetic, "I've changed" type thing, because I think he's done that before. And I think he was more like, "This is who I am, like it or lump it" type thing. And I talked to your leadership group and they like me, so we're going to go with that.
Yeah. It's clear that he's going to play the top guys less. And which of the bottom guys you think are going to benefit most from this change?
Well, like Trent Frederick is going to have to kind of step up his game. And it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic between him and Mike Babcock. I think that's a guy that really the owners were counting on to be a guy that can come in here and be a real impact guy, a guy that can play physical, can chip in some goals. And he's really, really struggled last year. He really struggled in the playoffs the year before. You can point to the ankle sprain. You can point to the fact that, he was playing through that high ankle sprain and it was an issue. But he has to show something here in Edmonton. And I don't think he's done that yet. They made a long commitment to him. And I know a lot of people were wondering why they committed to him the way he did based on that playoffs. But obviously Stan Bowman sees something in him. So I'd like to, be interesting to see if Mike Babcock can make him the player that I think Stan Bowman and the Edmonton Oilers thought he would be when they signed him to that contract. So I think he's a guy that I'm really looking into, interested. Jason Dickinson, obviously, what he can do. He talks about maybe giving some of those other guys a bigger role, more ice time and things like that. Can he kind of thrive in that bigger role or more ice time? That'll be interesting to see. So I think those are the two guys I'm really going to keep an eye on, whether or not they can kind of thrive under Babcock and his methods and the way he tries to get the most out of players.
Derek Van Diest joins us. DVD, looking ahead now to, kind of what's next for the Oilers. The draft is on Friday. They obviously don't have a first rounder right now, but we know that Darnell Nurse would like a trade. The problem is he's given a pretty small list at this point, but we're starting to see more trades. And my understanding is, the teams know where Darnell Nurse is kind of interested in, and, they're kind of waiting to see it. It's obviously not like a trade you have to make today or anything, but I think in an ideal world, Edmonton would like to make it before July 1st. Do you think they get the trade done before next Wednesday?
Ooh, yeah, I think they'd like to. Yeah, because you like to know what you have, what you're working with. And I think you're going to have to retain some money on that trade. And I think that's the one thing that's really important is to know how much money you retain so you can kind of look at your roster. You can look at where you are in the cap, how much money you have in the cap. And I think that's important. And I look at a guy like Darnell Nurse. He's still a very serviceable defenseman. I think obviously the issue has been with him is that he's making $9 million a year. And people are like, well, you can't be paying that guy $9 million a year. But if you get him at 5 or 6, and if the Oilers retain some salary there, then yeah, he's a very, very good option. He's a guy that, yeah, he can help you on your bottom pair, or I'll be a fourth or fifth defenseman. He can help you in that regard. But I just think he was probably paid a little too much when he signed that extension. And I think people kind of look at that contract and say, well, they're expecting a lot more out of him than he can provide. But I do think that the Oilers, that's probably their next move. That's probably the next shoe to drop. They've had a busy summer. They signed Dickinson, they signed Murphy, they got the coach in place. The next shoe is, okay, we got to move Darnell Nurse, see how much we have, and then you go into free agency knowing exactly what you can spend and what you can do around the league. So, yeah, I think it's kind of important to get him off the books by July 1st.
Yeah, definitely think that they have to do that. No question about it. DVD, quickly, give me your thoughts on the World Cup, man. What's your early thoughts?
Well, it's been good. I'm not a fan of the 48 teams, to be honest, because I think there's some teams that just don't belong there. They're not ready, and you can kind of see that. There's going to be some lopsided games. There's a bunch of teams that are just trying to survive. They're playing with 10 guys behind the ball, putting 10 guys in the box, and just trying to survive for 90 minutes. We've seen a little bit of that with Cape Verde. We saw a little of that with Curacao and some of these teams. I'd like the tournament at 32 because every game kind of meant something. At 48, now you're going to have a bunch of teams that are already qualified for the next round before their third game even kicks off. And 4 years ago, there was so much drama going into that third game that teams needed to win, teams needed to tie. There was a lot going on, so I think you're going to lose a little bit of that. But so far, it's been a real star tournament. Ronaldo had a big game today. You see all these star players. Messi's having a great tournament. But I think as we move along here, things are going to get a little tighter. The games are getting a little better. But I like Canada's chances to win the group and get out of the group. I think that'll be big for them. And it'll be great for the sport in this country if Canada can get into the second round and play a big, meaningful knockout game in the round of 32 and even maybe get into the round of 16. So, yeah, I think as it's going along, I think it's picking up steam. But I'm not a fan of the 48 teams, and I'm not a fan of – they've basically split the games down to 4 quarters with the hydration breaks, they call them. They're commercial breaks. I know they've always talked about, especially in America, wanting the game to break up into 4 quarters. They've essentially done that right now, and it really just kills the flow of the game. Anyone that likes soccer, they like the flow of the game, the back and forth, and playing 25 minutes and taking a 3-minute break and then playing another 20-some minutes. It just kills the flow of the game, and I hope this is something that isn't adopted around the world, and I don't think it will be because soccer should be 2 halves, not 4 quarters. And you're seeing that really a lot of flow of the game is being taken away.
DVD, great stuff, buddy. We will chat with you next Tuesday. Have an awesome day.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. That's Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. We'll take a final break, come back, wrap things up. We got Cam Tate and our stats of the day in the Gregor Show here on Sports 1440.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Say hello to your
Respect?
new favorite drinks.
You tell me.
Introducing new McCafe
1995.
Icy
The Edmonton
cool,
Journal sends me to
undeniably
Red Deer to
refreshing
piece.
and available in
NHL
3
Old
flavors.
Timers,
Strawberry
charity
watermelon,
games.
mango
Men who
pineapple,
once owned
and
arenas,
blackberry passion
now
fruit.
playing for
Only at
strangers.
McDonald's.
For reasons that have
men's rugby team at Clark Stadium. July 4th, Canada takes on Spain. July 11th, a doubleheader as Canada battles Portugal and Tonga faces Spain. Build the home field advantage for Team Canada. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team
Respect.
members and their customers. And
I'm
that means
Cam
treating
Tate,
your vehicle
Sports
like it's their own
1440.
and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
The perfect place to host your golf tournament or fundraiser, company event, celebration of life, wedding, birthday party, or private party. Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club. More than a golf course, a fun, welcoming place with beautiful views, relaxing patios, and a team that truly appreciates each and every guest. Featuring Out of Bounds, Cattail's 5-star kitchen. Some say it's the best clubhouse dining they've ever had. Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club. Book your tourney or event today at cattailcrossing.ca.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
We just dropped a massive payload at Nisku 4. It's time to unload some deals at the Truckload of Savings event. If you've been waiting to upgrade, we've backed up the savings with unbeatable offers on our toughest Fords. Right now, haul away exactly what you need and take advantage of massive price drops across our entire lineup, including the legendary Ford F-150 for the job site or the weekend getaway. Shop the Truckload of Savings at niskuford.ca. Nisku Ford, above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.543, we return. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. The Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto Max tonight, $30 million and 30 prizes of $100,000. Get your tickets tonight at PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, we got some Jason Gregor booth specials for you, a little bit of Elks action during the week. We also got Canada in the World Cup tomorrow, so you can get in on that and more. Let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC or furnace. Match them together, save even more. LegacyHeating.ca. Here is Cam Tate.
Respect? You tell me. 1995. The Edmonton Journal sends me to Red Deer to write a feature piece. NHL Old Timers, charity games. Men who once owned arenas, now playing for strangers, for reasons that have nothing to do with money. I ride the bus to Edmonton with the team. Guy Lafleur sitting right in front of me. The Flower himself. We get talking about Scotty Bowman, who coached Lafleur. And Lafleur just says it. Quiet. No drama. I didn't like him, Lafleur said. But did I respect him? Absolutely. I've turned that line over every single day since, because it asks something of us. It asks us to separate the personal from the principled. Liking is easy. Respect costs something. Jump ahead. 30 years. Tuesday. The Oilers make it official. Mike Babcock, head coach. The 2 weeks before were a soap opera. Millions of posts. A verdict manufactured before the ink dried. The media peppered him with questions about his off-ice behavior. Babcock gave them nothing new. No apology, no front-page quote. But here's what got buried under all that noise. The priority is to win. Now. With McDavid, with Draisaitl, with Nugent-Hopkins. Ownership in. Management in. Players in. That kind of alignment is rarer than people think. Hold on to it. 2 things happened to me personally. Babcock walks past me in the Marriott lobby before the press conference. Blue suit, eyes straight ahead a good 40 minutes before the press conference, a mere 30 seconds walk across the street. Already in the next room before he's left this one. Didn't see me. Fine. 30 minutes after the press conference, quiet corner of Rogers Place. Babcock stops, shakes my hand. Here's what you need to know. I have a disability. I don't speak clearly. Never have. I bring up Emma Lake in Saskatchewan, where, I think, he has a place. He doesn't catch it. I try again. Again. 5 times. And he looks at me and says, I'm really sorry I can't understand you. The next time we talk, I'll find someone to help me understand you. The next time. A plan. Not a dismissal. Guy Lafleur didn't like Scotty Bowman, but he respected him. I don't know Mike Babcock. Not yet. Respect? You tell me. 2-minute warning. Gregor, Haley, Kruger. I hope he respects me. I'm Cam Tate, Sports 1440.
We will, we'll see. Everybody's going to have different opinions. On Babcock, I think the hiring's gone. We made it clear in our show. Now it's just a matter of, hey, we'll see how it unfolds during the season. I get why people say, you know what? I might not like it, but I'm going to cheer for the team. That's fine. I don't think you can forget it. You have to at least be leery of and watchful to ensure that past does not repeat itself. That's all. Be hard on the players. No problem. I haven't heard anybody say, well, you shouldn't be hard on the players. But hard on players and being disrespectful and bullying are 2 different things. So hopefully it's the former. 5:48, we got some stats of the day to run down for you. Let's get to them. Brought to you by All-Star Construction. Founded in 2009. They have just continued to grow and have worked into one of the leaders in the land development, power, and gas installation contractors in the province. All-Star Construction. Now, World Cup matches, man. Yesterday was wild again. As Lionel Messi scored twice. He now has the most goals in World Cup history with 18. And right after that, Kylian Mbappe got a pair of his own goals to now he's at 16, but he's also 12 years younger than Messi. Something tells me he's got a few more World Cups in him. And so that'll be a great race. Then you throw in the fact that Erling Haaland, he scored a pair of goals as well. Now, this is his first World Cup, so he's obviously not close when it comes to all-time goals. But the Golden Boot race is going to be fantastic. Hey, don't count out David, baby. Maybe he can get in. So Messi's got 5, Mbappe and Haaland got 4. Jonathan David and Dennis Undav out of Germany, each with 3 thus far. So it's early on a good start. Ronaldo actually even got on the board today with a pair of goals. He becomes the first player to score a goal in 6. Is that right? Oh no, Messi was the first guy to score it in 6. But it's 10 goals now for Cristiano Ronaldo. How about this? His last goal in any major tournament came in the 2022 World Cup opener. So he had gone 10 games in the Euros and the World Cup before scoring today. And really his last non-penalty goal came at the 2021 Euros. So he'd been in a little bit of a funk at the major tournaments, but that ended today. Also, if you missed it late last night, Giannis Antetokounmpo was dealt to the Heat with Bobby Portis for Tyler Hero, Ware, Yaquez Jr., Yankencios. I gotta butcher his name every time. Yaku Sionsis, 3 first-round picks, 1 second-round pick, and 1 pick swap. As the NBA deals continue to be crazy. If you missed it in the NHL today, the St. Louis Blues now own 4 first-round picks on Friday. They have the 11th pick, the 15th pick, the 16th pick, and the 29th pick because they acquired the 16th pick from Washington today, along with McMichael and a prospect for Jordan Kyrou. Somewhere, Low Tide is in tears because he really thought Jordan Kyrou was going to go to Edmonton. But the Blues, they got 4 first round. The San Jose Sharks have a 2nd and a 9th round pick now, or 9th overall pick on Friday, as they move William Eklund, who they took 7th overall in 2021. And Eklund has become a 2-time 50-point getter. He's a 7th overall pick. What do the Sharks think they're going to get at number 9? I'm a little surprised with this, honestly. Little surprised. And you also had the Calgary Flames acquiring Simon Nemec from the New Jersey Devils, along with Siplikov. They give up 2 first-rounders. Neither one's their own. One's Vegas. One's Colorado's. They also give up a 2nd and a prospect. But, so, you look at today. 4 first-rounders have been traded just today in the National Hockey League as it was trading Tuesday, and we'll see what's in store tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. There was supposed to be lots of talk around the draft, and so far, it has lived up to it, baby. Lots of young players being traded. Obviously, Brady Tkachuk got dealt on Sunday, so there is, we'll see what's coming tomorrow, man. I can't wait. Also, Canada tomorrow. Can't wait for that. And bad news for the Elks. Nick Anderson is out. He will not play. He's got a hamstring injury. He's gone. Luke Burton-Cron also out of the lineup as the Elks prepare to take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Let's take final break, and we're going to get to the update in a second here. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, think the Blues take the Ruck brothers at 15 and 16 from Randy? I do not, Randy. I think that would be a reach. I haven't seen both of them ranked in the top 20 anywhere, so I would be surprised by that. Hey, guys, our team's going for offer sheets with it. Well, no, you need your own draft pick, right? So, and like St. Louis has 4. That's not going to help them really for offer sheets. And an offer sheet, you can only use your first round pick, right? And same with the Sharks. I know a lot of people are like, hey, is this for Robertson? Well, if they offer sheeted Robertson, the offer sheet would come after this year's draft anyway. Can't offer sheet before him. So that'd all be for next year. So any draft picks for this year have no relevancy whatsoever for offer sheets because that's going to be for future draft picks in 2027. Let's get to the Conman Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Looking for cars, looking for trucks. They got them all over 15,000. Check it out. GoAuto.ca. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Today in the NHL, the Capitals acquiring Jordan Kyrou from the Blues for Connor McMichael, Milton Gastrian, and a 16th overall pick in Friday's draft. St. Louis now is the 11th, 15th, 16th, and 29th overall selections. The Ottawa Senators acquiring William Eklund, Casper Heltunen, and Brandon Svoda from the Sharks for the Panthers' 9th overall pick. San Jose now picked 2nd, 9th, and 27th. At the World Cup earlier today, Ghana and England scoreless draw. Portugal gets past Uzbekistan 5-0. At halftime, scoreless between Croatia and Panama. And tonight, 8 o'clock,
Colombia and Congo DR from Guadalajara, Mexico. Major League Baseball, Jays fell to the Astros in extras 9-7. Few games going on right now. Royals up on the Rays 3-1. The Yankees trail the Tigers 2-1. Phillies behind the Nats 5-2, while the Cubbies lead the Mets 5-0. Dodgers, Twins, Diamondbacks, Cards, Reds, Brewers all scoreless. Later tonight, Rockies host the Red Sox, Orioles in Anaheim, Padres taking on the Braves, and the Giants get the Athletics. From the CFL, Elks linebacker Nick Anderson will miss Thursday's game with the lingering hamstring injury, while the Bombers acquired quarterback Drew Brown and a second-round pick from the Red Blacks for a first-round pick next year and a conditional second-rounder in 2028. In the NFL, Kyle Pitts and the Falcons agreeing to a contract extension, 3 years, $54 million. And tonight, you got the NBA draft, 6 o'clock. The Wizards on the clock. Jazz and Grizz round up the top 3. The Raptors will select 19th and 50th. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. You got Fox Sports Radio coming up next. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with Kevin Carey. It's here on Sports 1440. Streaming on YouTube at Sports 1440 a.m. They'll be joined by Stanley Cup champion Jordan Martinook. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 14.